Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Here we go on a footballish Friday. Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Bobo, happy Friday. We've made it. It is the weekend. We got 10 more days left to go on this show. 3 more Fridays. What's happening, buddy? Good to talk to you.
Oh, it's so exciting to be here. Coming right off an NFL draft Thursday night, the final one of Morning Juice.
What a spectacular it was.
But it was one of many, and it was very, very good. Good to the last drop if you're a Buckeye fan.
Yes, it was.
I talked to our guy Breer after the show, and he's like, hey, I got some more stuff for you. And he had a lot of information dumped, some for public disclosure, some for not. And he's like, I could see Baltimore maybe taking Simmons. He's like, Chiefs, but they've drafted some O-line.
I thought the Chiefs were going to take Trey at the very end of the draft.
Well, and that was another one that he had pegged. He thought both of those guys could be going to the Chiefs. And 4 Buckeyes in a round. We thought, hey, maybe you get 2.
Yeah.
And then Tyleek comes off the top ropes.
28, boom.
You get a Wolverine to Cleveland and a Buckeye to Detroit, a DT, the old switcheroo.
Yeah, we're living in the upside down.
Yep. And so I was like, okay, you got 3 after Donovan slid in there as well. Felt good about that. And then all of a sudden, poof, last pick of the draft, Kansas City Chiefs getting it done for another Buckeye. So awesome night for Ohio State. Should have a big day again tonight. I think you'll probably have another 4 guys go, maybe 6 or 8.
Maybe, yeah, I think more. I mean, because you get the 2 rounds tonight.
That's what I'm saying.
Rounds 2 and 3.
Within the second, you could have 2 or 3. I mean, Trey, Quinshawn, JT, maybe a Jack. You start then you start getting to the third. You've got Cody, you've got Lathan. Will Howard will be somewhere amongst those 2. I mean, so it's coming at you thick and fast.
It really is. It was an awesome night last night. Again, pick number 19, Emeka Egbuka, going to the Buccaneers. Then you had Donnie at number 24, Tyleek at 28, and Josh Simmons. So all in all, 4 Buckeyes taken last night. The Brownies made a trade back. All kinds of good stuff that was happening in the NFL draft. We've got a great program lined up for you here on this Friday. Again, Browns made a monster move in the draft last night. We'll get into that coming up here in our next segment. Also had 4 Buckeyes taken in the first round. What are we expecting for tonight and tomorrow? Get into that a little bit later on. There is a theme today. We will talk a lot of NFL draft. Jackets Insider Jeff Svoboda, he's going to kind of talk about the end of the Columbus Blue Jackets season. We'll put a bow on that with him coming up here at 7:20 this morning. Austin Ward, he's going to join us. We'll talk some Buckeyes with him at 7:30, and I believe we will check in with AJ, who hosted the NFL Draft Spectacular last night and is up in his old stomping grounds of Green Bay. He's going to come up.
That's a belief. Well, I did not confirm that with him because he's on Central Time and they were up late, so we'll see. But AJ's an early riser.
Yes, he is, man. He's going to be up. It'll be all good. Before we hop into anything else today, it is Friday. It is April 25th, 2025. Time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Bob, big Friday, buddy. What do you got lined up for us?
Oh, we've got a huge day. It is Friday, April 25th, the 115th day of the year. 250 days remaining. 10 more days of Morning Juice after this in its current iteration. Beamer, this day 1846, the border dispute, also known as the Thornton Affair, between Texas and Mexico, beginning the Mexican-American War back in 1846. 1898, another issue with the Latinos. The Spanish-American War. U.S. Congress officially declares a state of war in the conflict that has existed since the 21st of April in Cuba, with a naval blockade, with the United States helping to ousted the Spanish from Cuba. That's why they were friends, and they let us use Guantanamo Bay. For 40 years, it was 50 years, pretty good deal.
Yeah, and then it became disputed, and then it became a bigger deal.
This day, 1956, Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel hits number 1.
Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street, that Heartbreak Hotel.
Bob said he never heard that song yesterday, and then Shark played the first 10 seconds of it because I got it.
I didn't know that was the name of it. This day, 1959, the St. Lawrence Seaway opens, Beam. Do you know what two bodies of water the St. Lawrence Seaway connects?
I believe it is Lake Erie to the Atlantic Ocean.
I don't know if it's a Lake Erie, but it's the Great Lakes. I think.
Well, yeah, I think it is. I think it's Lake Erie, right?
Is it off of Lake Erie? I want to say.
Or is it?
It's the St. Lawrence River is where it comes from, but then.
I know it's the Great Lakes to the Atlantic.
I think, well.
Am I right in saying that? It is the Great Lakes to the Atlantic. That's why it's such a big deal,
100%,
right?
but I don't think Lake Erie is the furthest east Great Lake, which is, it's
Ontario.
Lake Ontario.
That's right.
Which is also the smallest, I believe, of the Great Lakes.
It's the one I forget about the most, Ontario.
Yeah, it's the most forgettable, Beam.
Is it salt water? St. Lawrence Seaway?
Well, the river flows out, so I'm guessing it's not.
Okay.
I mean, the St. Lawrence River becomes brackish. I'm guessing it's mouth. But,
Ooh, brackish. What a great word.
yeah, absolutely. We learn something new every day in here, Beam.
Yeah, we do.
This day, 1970, ABC by the Jackson 5 lands at number 1.
Banger. All-time banger.
Michael was amazing at that. Like, he was so young when they sang. How old do you think he was, Shark? 8 when they sang that?
Yeah, 10.
8 to 10?
Unbelievable.
Wait, what year did you say?
1970.
He was born in 58. He was 12 by then.
That's not that impressive then.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
He wasn't shaving yet.
I don't think he ever really shaved if you looked at him. This day, 1987, I Just Died in Your Arms by Cutting Crew hits number 1.
I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been something you said. I just died.
Lots of bangers
I mean,
today.
Shark, that's one of the songs that you don't even need to cut the beginning is what is most known for that.
Right, Bob.
The fast start. That's always a key to victory. 1997, Ken Griffey Jr. hits his 250th home run.
Fly ball to left field indeed. Going back green. Number 1 all time in April. Ken Griffey Jr. with number 12. My, oh my. And he stands alone as hitting more home runs in April than any man in history. Jr. with a dozen. And number 250 on his career.
That's pretty impressive.
You see what he's up to now?
Falling
Ken Griffey
asleep in the
Jr.?
dugout?
He is a photographer, and he was down
yeah.
at Augusta National a couple of weeks ago taking pictures, and he captured one of the most iconic pictures of all time with Rory like on the green at the end, and yeah, he's just a photographer now, doing a great job
that could
at
be
that.
your retirement. I mean, you're on
Could be, or I could be sleeping in the dugout.
Hey, did you know that Ken Griffey Jr.'s April home run record was recently broken?
By whom?
Who do you think?
Judge.
When you say recently, what like in the last?
I don't have a year for you.
okay.
But I mean, it's player obviously who's been more recent than Ken Griffey Jr.
I would say Aaron Judge.
Not Aaron Judge. Ken Griffey Jr. has 114 home runs in the month of April all time.
Well, this was in 1 April.
Oh, okay.
He hit 12 in the month of April. That was the most ever
Got it.
in one season.
He also has 114 all time, which he was leading Major League Baseball career for April home runs. And then
Until-
Albert Pujols passed him in
Pujols got him?
2018. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you hit as many as Ken did, hey, the key is to start fast, Shark. Then this date, 2014, the Flint water crisis. The city switched over to the water supply from the Flint River. Lead and bacteria contamination were both apparent at that point.
I can't sleep at night because of how the place I chose to live is going to affect my children's lives forever.
Recently, I've been living like a third world country person without water.
My life's been forever changed because of this. I was one of those firm believers. I'm not going to pay for water in a bottle because I get it free out of the tap. So that was the water I drank. And now we're forced to drink it out of a bottle.
We don't do any of our dishes here. We don't do any of our laundry. We don't take any showers. We don't take any baths.
Don't take any baths.
2014 to 2019.
That was a rough situation there.
Absolutely.
Some birthdays today. Ella Fitzgerald, the Queen of Jazz, born in this state in 1917. Al Pacino turning 85 today.
Jada, you're nothing to me now. You're not a brother. You're not a friend. I don't want to know you or what you do. I want to see you at the hotels. I don't want you near my house. When you see our mother, I want to know a day in advance so I won't be there. You understand?
I mean, Beam, sometimes when life imitates art,
it's true.
You feel a little bit like old Al in The Godfather.
You're my brother, Fredo.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many to choose from with Big Al.
There really are. I mean, but that one I thought was the most appropriate for the present time, Beam.
Agreed.
You know, Shark, thanks for getting that for us.
We might have a little Al Pacino later as well.
That's a winner. Randy Cross turning 71, the three-time Super Bowl winner, All-Pro and broadcaster. Fish, the singer, not the fish that works here, turning 67.
PH?
Yeah, PHIS. Not
as well.
With an F.
Absolutely. Joe Buck from Joe Buck Live turning 56 today.
The Vikings are not inside field goal range for Morton Anderson.
This is disgusting.
Moss. Randy Moss is in for a touchdown.
Al Harris playing off, bit up on the route, and Randy Moss, without even really being able to run, as he shoots the moon to the fans here in Green Bay.
That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss, and it's unfortunate that we had that on our air live. That is disgusting by Randy Moss.
I mean, it was a fake mooning.
He didn't pull his pants down, Joe.
I mean, there's a lot worse things I think happened on a football field. The fake moon.
That is disgusting.
Don't be such
terrible. We showed that on our airwaves.
I mean, come on, man. Darren Woodson turning 56 as well, the three-time Super Bowl champ. Renee Zellweger turning 56. Tim Duncan turning 76. What would that make him? I didn't write it down. 49 years young. Goodness gracious, getting up there. And John Havlicek passed away on this date, 2017.
5 seconds left. Boston only has a 1-point lead.
Greer's putting the ball on a play. He gets it out deep, and
Havlicek steals it. Over to Sam Jones. Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. It's all over. Johnny Havlicek is being mobbed by the fans. The Celtics win it. 110 to 109.
Oh, there we go. Some holidays and observances today, and one of the iconic calls ever by the Buckeye. We've got Child Care Professionals Day, DNA Day, Hairstylist Appreciation Day, License Plate Day, Mani-Pedi Day, National Telephone Day as well, and World Penguin Day. And those historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, observances for this date, April 25th, Friday, April 25th, 115th day of the year, 250 days remaining and 10 days remaining with Beam, Shark, and I on the Morning Juice.
Good job of that, Bob, as always. Browns made a monster move last night in the draft. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
We do have a couple of problems to start the Friday drive. There was an accident on the north side, I-71 northbound at I-270, the north outer belt. Your right lane is blocked here, so be sure and use caution. Also, US 23 southbound at I-270 north side, an accident here is blocking your right lane. And in Circleville, US 23 southbound is closed between River Drive and Kingston at Delphi Road. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where our erectile dysfunction treatments are shown to be effective in nearly 90% of cases. Listen to what Alex has to say about our ED treatments.
I have been experiencing problems with ED, but that's all changed. My name's Alex, and I've been a patient for Tri-State Men's Health for under a year. I highly recommend this. Every day I wake up feeling good compared to I was back in the old days. It change is more exciting. You know, I don't have a problem with ED anymore. I'm having a lot more fun. I was very comfortable. I was always comfortable in any conversation I had with Tri-State Men's Health. Yeah, I just want to let gentlemen out there know that you do not have to live with ED, that it is not just an aging process. It is also hormonal and balance and everything in your system. And once you get that under control and everything, you do go back to your youth a lot in how you feel.
Thanks, Alex. It's true. If you're like most men, we'll help you get your sex life back. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Spring is here and it's time for a fresh start, starting with your ride. At Germain Toyota, we've got an offer that'll drive you into the season in style. Get behind the wheel of a 2025 Toyota Tundra SR5 today for just $499 a month. That's right, a powerful, rugged Tundra just like the one I'm driving for $449 a month for 36 months. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net. $39.99 down, 36-month lease, plus tax, title, and fees. No security deposit required with approved credit. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
There's a new way to surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and Market District. Shop Giant Eagle's uncompromising quality at a reliable price with everyday savings. Look for signs throughout the store to find bargains on produce, meat, and more. At Giant Eagle, we combine exceptional customer service and quality foods, all at great value to make the most of your shopping trip. Visit Giant Eagle or Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
He shoots, he scores! It's a great time of year to be a fan, but the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. Maryhaven is here to help with in-person, virtual, and group options. Learn more at maryhaven.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring is here and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get your mulch ready for the season. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Whether it's mulch, soil, or even stone, we've got your yard covered. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your garden with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
Fish has been named the third best sports program director in the country. Winner. The two dudes who finished ahead of him are dead. So we're declaring him the winner. You're listening to the home of champions, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at rain showers around for your morning commute. Those will start to become a few less in number as we head toward the midday, but then pick back up this afternoon, possibly with some thunderstorm activity as highs work their way into the 70s. Temperatures out there drop to the 60s for Saturday, but dry weather returns for the weekend. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Prime Sports is the official sports book of Morning Juice.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
The Fan. Bobby is known as the General. Beamer is known as Beamer. This is Morning Juice.
Coming up 1 hour away from right now, Jackets Insider Jeff Svoboda. He's going to join us. We'll put a bow on the Jackets season with him. NFL draft going on last night. Didn't have to wait long to get in to the fun and the drama of the draft. We knew that Cam Ward was going to go number 1 to the Tennessee Titans. That happened. No big surprise there. And then the Jags making a move up from number 5 to go to 2 to get Travis Hunter. Browns on the receiving end of a trade here. Browns moved down 3 spots with the trade. They got pick number 5, a second-round pick at number 36 is where they'll be picking tonight. So they got 33 and 36 today. A 4th-round pick and a 2026 first-rounder from the Jags for the Jags to go up 3 spots to get Travis Hunter. That's a good bit of business done by the Brownies.
Well, let's not forget the big trade that happened before the draft where they swapped a couple of 6s for a 5. The Texans for a 5.
Like, what's going on here?
Well,
one of these teams is going to make something happen with this move.
I think that there may have been a thought on the Brown side is like, let's see if we can get a 5 as a sweetener for maybe a deal to come up from that second pick if someone had fallen. Apparently nobody felt that they wanted, or maybe the asking price was too high for them to jump back in where they needed to go. But it seemed like that was the case, especially when they traded down. I'm like, you have 2 picks right at the top of the second. So if you want to come back in to like pick 25, like you would have had the ability and have the ammunition to do it. And you could have given up probably both of those just to get that done, and maybe a 5 or something like that. But also, I mean, a lot of Browns fans were furious, like, oh, he was a generational pick. I'm like, listen, there are some flaws with this guy. Like, he's not the combination of Jalen Ramsey and Calvin Johnson out there. Like, he's not very big.
True.
Listen, I'm not besmirching him. His play has been really good. He won the Heisman Trophy, for heaven's sake.
And the Biletnikoff.
But he's raw as a receiver and he's raw as a corner. And I'm not saying that he may not be an all-pro in either one or maybe both. But there is some projection that has to go with that. He's a slighter of build. He's only 190 pounds. He's not a big frame guy. He's a great football dude. He's a great human. I understand why the Browns did it because now you have 2 picks in an area of the draft where there's a lot of depth.
Yes.
And you control today. You have 2 of the first 4 picks today. And so you have the ability to get that done. And you picked up a first-round pick for next year. Like, that was a haul now. I didn't think...
If Trevor Lawrence gets injured and the Jags are bad, like, all of a sudden you are sitting in sweet spot time.
I mean, there's no guarantee that the Jags are going to be good.
No, there's not. They have Liam Cohen, a new head coach. They have a new general manager who's like 30 years old. They've got a lot going on there. They're rebuilding a roster. They're trying to find their identity.
And that was why I thought it was big that you got that second-round pick this year, because that is basically, I mean, you have another top 40 pick in a draft where they said between, I don't know, probably 15 and maybe 50, you're getting a very similar type of player. And so you get 2 right there, smack dab in the middle of that, maybe all the way to 60. And so you've got some great options being able to move around and get some people.
Was it Albert with us yesterday who was saying between like 30 and 80, there's no difference? Or it was Jeff Risden a little bit earlier in the week?
There's a lot of people that have kind of said that. It's been a sentiment, and it's just a function of where are you delineating. But they said there's not a ton of blue chip players in this draft, maybe 3 or 4.
There's a lot of really good players in this draft, but it's not as top heavy as drafts that we've seen in the past.
And so when you have something that's backloaded, I think that that's very smart. Now we'll see and part of it comes down to you have this capital now. What do you do with it?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
You've got to hit your picks.
I'm going to turn now to our resident Browns fan to see how he feels about this, because there was a lot of people that were very upset, and then there were some people that was like, hey, you actually felt like they did something competent last night.
Because they ultimately did end up taking Mason Graham, if you're just joining us.
Do I think Mason Graham is going to be a Pro Bowl caliber defensive tackle, and you can pair him in there with Miles, and you feel pretty good about it.
Yesterday, Beams, he was playing Jerry Jones in a hypothetical trade. Cowboys with the number 10 pick.
12.
Number 12 pick. And Beam asked me if I would take what it would take to trade down with the Cowboys at number 12. I said a first rounder this year, a switch of the first round picks, and a first rounder next year plus a second rounder this year. And that's what they got for just trading down 3
spots.
So I thought it was a pretty good haul.
Hey, let me tell you this, though.
It was the best haul they could probably get.
I was offering you an out in the Deshaun deal, and I was willing to give you Dak as well.
Right. We talked yesterday, Bob, about guys coming back to haunt you, and he's not going to play in the Browns division. He won't play against them every year.
Could see him in the playoffs.
20 years from now, when he walks into Canton in that gold jacket, we'll probably say, and the Browns could have had him. But you can't,
Julio Jones trade all over again?
You can't draft out of fear. How many teams passed on Patrick Mahomes who had a chance? You could play that game with everybody.
The Chiefs actually went up to get him, and then at the time they're like, what are they doing? They got Alex Smith over there. They're crazy for that. It's worked out for them, obviously.
I like it, Bob. I really wanted Travis, too.
Oh, 100%. But if you're getting that, you got Mason Graham. Like you said, it wasn't like they traded to 10 or to 12 or to 16.
Yeah. I mean, they're right there. Like, you went down 3 spots in the draft and got one of the best players.
I think you got the last, like, surefire-ish, really good player.
I think all top 5 guys are that.
I don't know about Cam Ward. I can't promise there, but I think
Abdul Carter, great. Will Campbell, good. And then Mason Graham, obviously very good.
I think, yeah. And I think Travis Hunter's going to be that too.
Yeah.
So I think you had 4 or 5 guys, and so you got to that spot, and you were still able to get an elite player.
It was fun last night. Here was Andrew Berry after the draft about why they made the trade ultimately with the Jags.
We just felt like it was a fantastic opportunity for our organization to move down 3 spots, still get a top-notch prospect in the trenches, adding a pick, in what we view as really the sweet spot for this year's draft class, and then adding a first-round pick next year, in a class that, quite frankly, we think will be a bit stronger in the first 30 picks. So we just felt like over both in the short term and over a multi-year time horizon, it was a fit, for what we wanted to do with the team and what we wanted to do with the roster. And, we're excited to add Mason. We're excited to add the extra draft resources both this year and next.
Listen, you got a really good player, and you got a bevy of options today and next year.
And so keep in mind, listen to what he said right there. Keep in mind with our plans for the future. Giving them 2 first-round draft picks next year, the quarterback class is going to be much more robust. And that doesn't mean that they may not take a guy today. I don't think they'll probably do it in the second. I could see them doing the third, but maybe they do. Maybe they trade if someone wants Shador. That
they trade back again. They're sitting there at 36.
They get up more capital, but because then you've got that 36 still. But that gives you the option next year to package those ones to be able to move.
Yeah.
And if you need to go up and get a quarterback, depending on where you finish or where Jacksonville finishes. So you have plenty of ammunition and what will be should be a much thicker, girthier quarterback class, where this year it felt a little thin.
And listen, he's telling you that. Andrew Berry is telling you that we think that maybe next year those top 30 options are going to be maybe a little bit better than this year. He's telling you that straight up.
Play that again, Shark.
I got you.
All right, sorry.
We just felt like it was a fantastic opportunity for our organization to move down 3 spots, still get a top-notch prospect in the trenches, adding a pick, in what we view as really the sweet spot for this year's draft class, and then adding a first-round pick next year, in a class that, quite frankly, we think will be a bit stronger in the first 30 picks.
There it is, saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't like any of the quarterbacks really in this draft.
Correct.
Next year, we like what will probably be there a little bit more.
Joe Flacco will have added his second Super Bowl ring.
Exactly, and we'll be ready to go. We'll have to come all the way up from 32 and wherever the Jags finish, but we'll be able to then draft a quarterback in the future.
Production versus projection. That's what the Bengals did with their pick last night. We'll get into that in 2 minutes. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
We do have a couple of problems to start the Friday drive. There was an accident on the north side, I-71 northbound at I-270, the north outer belt. Your right lane is blocked here, so be sure and use caution. Also, US 23 southbound at I-270 north side, an accident here is blocking your right lane. And in Circleville, US 23 southbound is closed between River Drive and Kingston at Delphi Road. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Join us for our open house at Rona RV this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Out with the old and in with the new memories of the RV of your choice. Save thousands. Family owned and operated on State Route 16 in Pataskala.
RonaRV.com. RonaRV.com.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could dump all your problems on someone else's back? Well, when you wake up to a clogged drain or a plumbing issue, make that Mr. Rooter's problem.
Call 855-MISTERS today or MrRooter.com.
Call Mr. Rooter. He'll be there quick.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medication. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Counting down the days until Shark's retirement. You are listening to Morning Juice.
Coming up 1 hour away from right now, Austin Ward. He's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeyes in the draft with him. Surprised by what the Bengals did last night, going with Shamar Stewart?
You know, he's a guy that he's the first guy off the bus, dude. And you could see him walking down. He's got all the physical traits that you're looking for.
6'6", 290. That is a big dude.
And can move.
Yep.
And I don't know what they said he ran. It was something very fast for his size. The problem is that he doesn't have great pass rush production. Now, Daniil Hunter was the same way, and he ended up having a lot of success in the NFL.
Yeah, about 95 sacks, I think, so far in his career.
95 and counting or something like that. I mean,
by the way, Shamar Stewart, his 40-yard dash time, 4.59.
Okay, I thought I heard that.
Dude is 6'5", 270.
Okay, I didn't think it was 290. I thought it was. I was like, gosh, that's why I didn't say 4.59. I'm like, that's really cooking. But still, 270, 4.59 is ridiculous. But with that, like, should we not have seen some more sacks? Like that's
what is it? 7.5? 7.5, I believe, was his career total.
I mean, I played edge for 1 year and I was hurt half the year of my time at Ohio State, and I had 8 sacks.
Whoa, no big deal.
Well, I'm not saying like that. It's like a brag. I'm just saying like there's a production level that's got to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and you were playing on a good team with other good players. Like it's not like they're just gonna they double teamed him every play. He was the only guy out there, and teams could not have to block anybody else. Like that's not the case. So.
How do you weigh though production versus projection? Because I mean, you look at the guy and you're like, well, yeah, that makes sense. That guy's going to be electric in the NFL.
Well, it comes down to a lot of things. Like, we got to figure out why weren't you more productive. Mm-hmm. And there's times, and listen, I'm full disclosure, I haven't watched 1,000 snaps on him.
4.5 sacks, by the way, not 7.5. Yeah. 1.5 in 22, 1.5 in 23, and 1.5 last year.
And so that's the thing. Like, if he would have said, hey, he hadn't had any, and then he had 4.5 this year, or maybe he had 4, like something happened. I don't know. But people draft traits. Like, then you start looking at, like, what traits do you possess? Mm-hmm. Some of them are physical measurables. Some of them are like, hey, elite with his hands, good hips, things that are more subjective that you watch, that you kind of put a grade on. But you have to figure out why this guy wasn't able to convert that into more production. Like, why did these traits not turn that way? And sometimes
were you the best guy on the D-line and they were shading 3 guys to you the entire time, every game?
You were at Texas A&M, so it's not like you were at a team where he's at Vanderbilt and a guy that you can see him, he's getting 2 and 3 guys.
Not a Khalil Mack guy.
Yes.
Like, you're at Buffalo, dude.
Like, you're at a place where A&M, where, listen, we joked about that class that he was in, the NIL class, where they had paid all these guys. Like, Texas A&M is short on players, okay? No. And so trying to figure that out.
They're not short on star power.
Yes.
Coming out of high school.
Recruiting star power.
Yeah.
So you try to figure that out as to why that's the case. And maybe here's some of the stuff. Like, maybe he was close on plays. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of pressures, kind of like JT and Jack. Like, I think Jack was one of them. Like, Jack had tons of pressures, not a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
So you're like right there, you're a step away. And it's like, okay, you're disrupting the pocket. Like Tyleik Williams, a lot of disruption, maybe not crazy numbers, but he also had a lot of good guys around him who were getting those sacks then later. And so just trying to kind of piece that together and figure that out, that's what I would have to sit down and look at and say, okay, is this guy close a lot? Why isn't he doing more? I mean, I know they were pretty high on him last night, as you sat there and kind of listened to him talk, where he did make a lot of plays in the run game, but maybe just not those sack numbers. And so maybe they're thinking that, hey, he's productive in the run game and that'll come.
Here is new Bengals defensive coordinator Al Golden talking about Shamar Stewart and what they learned about him through this draft
I
process.
spoke to Coach Elko about 3 days ago, so just great insight from him. Loves the kid, loves the makeup, the way he conducts himself every day, the way he practices, the way he prepares, team guy, all those things. That's the embodiment of what we want. His play style is awesome. I love the way he finishes, so can't wait to get him here.
Well, listen, if he looks the part and you feel like you've done your research enough where you're calling Mike Elko and saying, hey, what's the deal with this guy? And you had mentioned it, Bob. He's the first off the bus guy. He's the last guy to leave. He's a hard hat, lunch pail guy, team guy first. Like, those statistics will then come. Like, the production will then come from a Bengals perspective. You hope. I know that hope isn't a strategy, but also at the same time, if he does have all the immeasurables and he looks the way that he does and it sounds the way that it does and you're talking to people and you think it sounds the way that it does, then, okay, we're going to go up and we're going to get this guy.
I always lean back to, I talked to Mike Tannenbaum about this, who was the GM for the Jets, the president of the Dolphins for a while. He's working at ESPN now. And he said George Young, the old Giants GM, who helped build those great teams of the 80s, early 90s with Parcells. And they said that their drafting philosophy was draft really good college players from big schools and ask them to do the same thing they did in college.
Mm-hmm.
And you start sprinkling the traits and all those things that you need to see with it. And if you do that, you're going to be successful more times than not.
Yeah.
The problem becomes is when you start trying to make these projections of what they can do, where they can go. And so if he's got good film and just maybe doesn't have the numbers, like, okay, that's fine. He's from a big school. He's Mike Elko. I have immense respect for him as a defensive coach, and knowing his system, watching what he did at Duke, like, he's a very, very skilled guy.
And if he's going to do everything the correct way,
yeah.
Then perfect.
And if he's the guy, and if he's a good locker room guy on top of all that, then perfect.
So Buckeyes made some history last night. Ohio State football program's record of first-round NFL draft picks increased to 95. 4 more Buckeyes went in the draft last night.
Most of any school?
It is the most of any school. I think Georgia had 4
last night tied
as well. And then I think there were a couple of teams with 3. But yeah, Buckeyes and the Bulldogs with 4 a pop. First-round wide receiver streak extended as well for Ohio State, as Emeka Egbuka went number 19 to the Buccaneers. I saw that pick. I'm like, you know what? That makes perfect sense. That is a great landing spot for Emeka.
Godwin's coming off an injury. Mike Evans is getting a little older. They love culture guys. Todd Bowles, awesome dude. Former, he's on our staff in Dallas. Love Todd, and he's probably looked at this saying, "Hey, we're going to get a chance to get this guy here, and maybe we have other needs. Maybe we need some pass rush help." But then again, you look and you're like, "Hey, there's still some guys like we talked about. JT still on the board. Jack, like those are just Ohio State guys. There's a lot of competent. Mike, what's his name from Marshall dropped?
Mike Green.
Mike Green. There's a lot of opportunities left." And so he's probably thinking these guys are sliding. I can snag what a lot of people thought is the most consistent, maybe surefire receiver in the draft.
He's a pro already.
McMillan has a lot of explosion down the field and can do some stuff, but this guy's a plug-and-play guy. He's going to give you production from day one. And Emeka Egbuka, unbelievable human being.
Totally.
Great leader, everything you want. He's a pro, and he's highly productive.
Other Buckeyes taken in the draft last night. Donovan Jackson going number 24 to the Minnesota Vikings. Great fit for him. Great fit, great organization. Unbelievable organization. That's a great job by Donovan to get himself into a position. We couldn't have speak more highly of Donovan Jackson.
Donnie's a great guy. I always say he reminds me of my guy, Nick Mangold, and I'm excited for him to go there. Thought he might be going to Houston. That's another potential landing spot for him. Minnesota jumps up there, and they grab him, man. So good for the Vikes, and you want to get that running game going, protect your young quarterback. Makes a lot of sense.
Tyleik Williams, culture guy in Detroit at number 28.
That was the one surprise. Like the other 3 guys I thought had a chance.
But there was a defensive tackle run.
Yeah.
And I think it was Mike was in on Monday. Mike Bennett was talking about this. He was like, unfortunately for me, he's like, in my draft class, the defensive tackle run didn't start until like the 4th round.
Yeah.
We saw that last night. The interior defensive tackle, Bob, went on a run a little bit, and Tyleik was the benefactor of that. And that's a great spot for Tyleik.
Well, because Detroit looks at what they have, and they're like, hey, we've got some good edge rush. We could maybe get another guy on the outside, opposite of Aiden Hutchinson when he gets back and healthy. But if you can get a big physical guy inside, you look at how Philly has been built and what they've done. They've just drafted D-line, O-line, like versatile guys that can get after the guys up front. And now you get Tyleek, you can put him in the middle. He's a vertical penetrator. He's a big, thick guy. And they were saying this last night. I think Booger said this. He's got the build of a nose, but he has the athleticism of a 3 technique, which means he's really stout. He's 325, 330 pounds, which he needs to make sure he keeps that under control. But the other element of that is you watch how athletic he is and what he can do getting up the field. Like Tyleek has that in spades.
You just talked about the Eagles right there with their draft strategy and the way that they do. They did make a trade, the Eagles did, to go from 32 up to 31, and they drafted Jahad Campbell, the linebacker edge guy.
I mean, it's
for
like
Alabama. It's the exact same thing that they've done for years. This dude,
Nolan Smith.
Yeah, they're unbelievable at what they do. And they jump up from, again, 32 to 31. They make a swap with the Chiefs. And then the Chiefs at the very end of the night, if you didn't catch it last evening, if you went to bed.
I turned it off. After Tyleek went, and I forget who drafted, like maybe the 28th pick. Who was that?
Well, they drafted Tyleek at 28.
Yeah, so after that, I was like, you know what?
Calling it a night.
I don't think that it was like 11:15. I'm like, if I stay up for another 40 minutes, am I going to get the bonus? Because I talked to Albert, and he thought there was a chance that either Travion or Josh Simmons could go to Kansas City. Mm-hmm. And I was like, is it worth it? I'm probably just going to be disappointed.
I stayed up. I got the payoff pitch.
I got a text from Albert. It said jackpot. I was like, Simmons to Baltimore, and then he didn't respond. And then he says Simmons jackpot. And I was already asleep. That was why I woke up to him. Like, well, let's see where we went.
Where did he go?
And I was like,
traffic.
Whoa.
Don't tell me about the traffic, Shark.
Well, geez, Shark, you trying to get us off the air that quickly? I mean, we got 10 days left. I didn't know that today was going to be our last show. Yeah, that honestly kind of scared me. You all right over there? No, he's not. All right, fine. I guess we'll go to break. Fully customizable quad box coming to a city near you. We'll do that in Quick Hitters next. Traffic also is on deck. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Traffic is a little slow this morning on State Route 161 eastbound near Beach Road. Use some caution. And in Circleville, US 23 southbound is closed between River Road and Kingston Adelphi Road due to an accident. Otherwise, I'm just keeping an eye on the building traffic volumes through the area this morning. The Friday drive doesn't look too bad for most of the region. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina. It's boat season at Buckeye Lake Marina. Largest new and used boat inventory in the 3-county region. Details and more at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
We have made our community a very important part of our business. One of the things that many people may not realize is that I was born and raised in Columbus. Our plant is in Columbus. All of our employees are from Ohio. And the community hears about all that stuff. And so the community trusts us.
Visit Rosati Windows by the end of this month and get 35% off all windows and doors.
Hey, spring is here, and nobody wants to suffer through another spring, summer, fall, not being able to do the things you love. Get outside, walk around with friends, go to your kids' games, go to your grandkids' games. Maybe you want to go bike. Maybe you want to play some pickleball, some tennis, some golf, whatever it is. Those are the activities you'll love to do, and maybe you're in intense pain. Hey, Bobby Carpenter here. That was me. That was my dad. And so you want to know what we did? We went and saw the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, Ohio. They're on the case, and they're going to get you the relief just like they did for us. For me, it was my knee. I had some issues from playing. They helped it out. For my dad, it was his other knee. They helped him out. But whether it's a hip, a shoulder, or back, you won't miss a beat. There's no surgery, and there's no long recovery. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They'll give you your life back without harmful meds. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus and find out the easiest path for you. They've got 2 new locations in Canal, Winchester, and Grove City, so give them a call at 380-208-4544.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. This is your last chance to get an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. But hurry, these savings end soon. And this weekend only, we're open Sunday to give you an extra day to shop our expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. Time is running out. 20% off, store-wide savings. Visit diamondsdirect.com for details.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Guess what? It's driving season, friends, and my friends at Jermaine Lexus are ready for you with their most popular models on the lot and ready to go with special APRs as low as 3.99%, up to 48 months, or 4.49%, up to 60 months with low lease payments starting at $389 per month on the 2025 NX. And if you're looking for a TX, they're finally available for immediate delivery. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
Common Man and Timmy are hosting afternoons together. Best friends, lots of jokes none of us understand. Not safe for work Instagram models. God help us.
Help! What should we do?
Weekdays at 3, starting May 12th.
The Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
You're listening to Rob Manfred's least favorite radio show. This is Morning Juice.
You can always watch the show on the YouTube machine. Hop in the chat this morning. Thanks to our guy Dan in the chat. Only 3 Georgia players last night. Went 11, 15, and 17. Buckeyes led the way with 4. They were the only school with 4 players taken last night.
Well, hopefully that's ominous, and they got a good start. And
fast start.
They've got about 12 more to go, which you'd like to see that record broken, at least 11 to tie it, because I love the fact that Ohio State has this first round streak. You've got the wide receiver streak. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you'll ever break 6 in the first round. I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Tying it is one thing. We had 5 my year.
Also in 2016, he had 5.
And they had 5 in 20. It's really hard. And Michael Thomas won the second round, by the way, that year, and was the 5th or 6th receiver. I thought they could have got 6. I think there's a lot of teams that probably would like to go back revisionist history on that and slide him into the first round.
Yeah, of course.
But having the overall draft record, too, to me, that it speaks of high-level players, and then also speaks of depth of the program as well.
It was a great night last night for the Buckeyes.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com. Use promo code JustSports for a welcome bonus of up to $100.
Sharky?
Yeah, buddy.
Happy Friday.
Oh, favorite day of the week. I'll tell you, that's really my favorite this week.
Thursday's the favorite, man.
Friday, Bob.
Because you wake up with just one day left. You're ready to go.
Well, by the time that we wake up on Friday, the day's basically over.
That's my point. Is I get up. The hardest part, Shark, is just getting out of bed.
Yeah.
Shark never gets in bed.
I got out of bed about 8 o'clock last night, and I've been up all night, Bob. I'm not feeling sorry. I don't have empathy for you today. But it's funny, Beam just mentioned...
What about authenticity?
Authenticity, empathy, and enthusiasm.
What about vulnerability?
I've got a lot of that. Right now, my tail's between my legs.
Why?
I'm vulnerable.
Okay.
You were just talking about...
That wasn't the only thing you tucked between your legs.
Beam, you were just talking about YouTube TV.
I was watching the draft on it last night.
And, as a matter of fact, it was 20 years ago Wednesday when they uploaded their very first video.
Like Dan Goes to the Zoo or
Yeah.
Watch me go to the zoo or whatever the title of the video is. Zootopia.
They have come a long way since then. YouTube TV, your streaming home of Morning Juice, is set to launch new, custom, multi-view options for you. Now, since I've never watched the quad box, I don't even know how to set it up. I'm going to let Beam explain it to you.
I'm excited about this because now it's going to give you the ability to quad box whatever you want. We have talked about this for a couple of years.
Gosh, it's really where we needed to go.
I just need more. I need more screens. I need more distractions. I just need to be able to watch like guys' grocery games, an actual sports game, maybe a news channel, and then a movie. Like I need 4 different things on, and that I'm not paying attention to a single one of them.
I would love the final iteration is when we'll be able to pull in multi-app, and I know that is it Sony or Samsung? One of them does it.
It's Samsung.
Samsung, and I think I have the last TV that they made that didn't do that. But like you think about it, on a Thursday night or a Monday night, like, how good is the game? You've got that game up on Thursday, maybe the college game in there as well.
You know, what's on TNT?
Maybe you got some office syndications running in the other one. Maybe a Shawshank in the last box. Okay, Shark, it's really the buffet you need. Like, this game's in commercial. This was not very good.
Let me pop over and see what Andy and Red are up to.
Oh, yeah, Andy and Red. This is a good one. This is, when they're... he's over there chiseling away, and this little cupcake on the wall. Or maybe you get to see, Dwight and Jim going at it in the office. I mean, there's a lot of great things.
Maybe for the 1,000th time that Bad Boys 2 is on TNT, and you can switch it over to that and see what they're up to.
I'm thinking of Rob Carpenter down there in Lancaster. He's going to have Gunsmoke, Bonanza, a John Wayne movie.
And Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island.
I mean, it really is the dream. And I think the final iteration, what you were talking about, instead of running the multi-apps, the final iteration is when we will just be able to plug this all right into our brain and not even be able to think about it. It won't even be on a TV. You'll just be watching TV in your own mind.
I don't think that's going to happen in my lifetime.
It
wouldn't happen in yours.
I wouldn't be so confident of that, Sharky.
Did you ever see that Tom Cruise movie?
Vanilla Sky?
Minority Report?
Oh, Minority Report, yeah.
You knew crimes were happening before they happened.
But not always.
Well,
that was the Minority Report, Shark, that they smothered and covered up.
Caught up with Tom, didn't it? Not to give away anything.
I haven't seen that. Should I watch it? I've been watching
Finish the best movie that you're seeing right now.
All right.
The Chateau d'If.
There have been 2 Pro Bowl receivers from Kansas State. Jordy Nelson, Tyler Lockett. Lockett has had a really solid career. Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2015, 661 catches, 8,600 yards, 61 touchdowns, all with Seattle, but the Seahawks let him go at the age of 32. And now the free agent is signing with Tennessee, and all the Titans have to pay him is $4 million on a 1-year deal. That is... I would say that's little risk, Bob, for an aging yet still pretty productive receiver.
Yeah, I mean, for what he is, that makes a lot of sense. You're getting a guy that's going to be able to give you production. He'll give you some culture. He'll give you some winning. That's what they need there. They need to be able to get those things. You've got a young quarterback. You want to make sure you have consistent and reliable weapons, someone that understands things. Like, this is a win. This is what you want to be able to do at the end of your career, and go play with a young guy who hopefully can get you the ball.
Well, of course, man. And you also, can you name any other Tennessee Titans wide receivers? Anybody in this room?
A.J. Brown?
Not
there anymore?
No.
What happened?
Calvin Ridley is down there with the Tennessee Titans. Outside of that, can you name anyone?
They still have Kevin. Is it Dyson that was down there?
Yeah.
Kevin.
About 25 years ago.
Did he ever get into the end zone?
He never did.
He never got
so close.
He's still reaching.
He's at the 6-inch line. Traylon Burks is still down there as well. It was the swapperoo, right?
Yeah.
I think this is a great bit of business by the Tennessee Titans. You don't survive in the NFL for more than a decade by being a bad guy at 5'10", and I think this is a locker room guy. Yeah. This is exactly what the Tennessee Titans wants to do. It is a $4 million investment from their part. Tyler Lockett gets to continue his career, and you bring in a veteran wide receiver to help out your number one pick in Cam Ward. I think that's a great bit of business by the Titans. It's not going to get a lot of headlines, but again, it was a good job by them. The Browns got a massive haul for pick number 2 last night. We'll get it back into that coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Traffic volumes are just building for your Friday drive. Plan for slowdowns on State Route 161 eastbound approaching Beach Road. Also on the west side, I-70 westbound between Hilliard Rome Road and State Route 142 with the 2 left lanes blocked. That causes some on and off delays. Also in Circleville, US 23 southbound is closed between River Road and Kingston Adelphi Road due to an accident. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus special rates on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card from BMI Federal Credit Union. Apply today at bmifcu.org/visa.
When you join the plus side with AAA, that's all you'll have to do. Or you could learn to change your own tire.
Hey fam, what's up? Today I'm gonna teach you to change a flat. Before we start, make sure it's not raining, or hailing, or lightning.
You can have AAA find you the right insurance policy, or you can shop for your own.
Hello?
I'm with Mega Insure. You requested a quote?
Yes, 3 months ago.
You could have our travel advisors plan your dream vacation, or book your own travel.
Woo! Panama City Beach, spring break.
I thought you said we were going to Panama.
Wait, there's a difference?
Skip the hard work. On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Wendy's has this new Cajun Crunch chicken sandwich. And to be honest, I'm kind of crushing hard on this Sammy. It's packed with bold Cajun flavors and topped with crispy onions for a satisfying crunch. All on Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich. It's honestly kind of my dream sandwich. I hope it likes me back. For a sandwich you'll love, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company for your next vehicle. This is Justin Hinderer. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, award-winning service, and our exclusive Carvenience. We pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it so you save time and enjoy peace of mind. That's Carvenience. At Hinderer Motor Company, we take care of everything so you can drive worry-free. See why we're the best choice for your next new or used car by visiting HindererMotorCompany.com.
Let's go to the floor with some late-breaking developments on the markets. Jim?
Up things are down, down things are up.
Sounds like things
You
are...
don't understand. Right is left, lemons are sweet, spaghetti is cold, the milk is warm.
Okay, but are you seeing anything that maybe smart-minded money people should know about?
Yeah. Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Probably one of the most stable things you can do is an Apex Pros air conditioner tune-up.
Air conditioner tune-ups, you say?
Oh yeah, Apex Pros knows most expensive summer breakdowns can be prevented by getting a tune-up now.
Yes, it's known that a tuned-up AC lowers energy bills, which is important to...
Oh, this is unbelievable.
What, big sell-off? Huge increase?
No, I spilled coffee on my new shirt. Anyway, tune-up save on energy bills, plus make your air conditioner last years longer.
Good to know Apex Pros keeps things stable and predictable.
That's on my pants, too. This is the worst day. This is historic. You know that.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
A great lawn is like a great sports team.
It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results. Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Mark Bishark. In 8 of the last 10 NFL drafts, multiple Ohio State players have been picked in the first round. Last night, 4 Buckeyes went in round 1. Receiver Emeka Egbuka goes to Tampa Bay with the 19th pick. Offensive lineman Donovan Jackson was selected 24th by the Vikings. Defensive tackle Tyleik Williams was 28th to the Lions. And offensive tackle Josh Simmons goes to the Chiefs with the 32nd overall pick. In the history of the NFL draft, 95 Ohio State players have been picked in the first round. That's more than any other school, 9 more than second-place Southern Cal. Meanwhile, the Browns traded the 2nd overall pick to Jacksonville for the 5th pick this year and a number 1 pick in 2026. Cleveland then drafted Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham at number 5. The Bengals took Texas A&M edge rusher Shamar Stewart with the 17th pick. The Sports Center is sponsored by RCD RV Super Center in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, or at rcdrv.com.
If this show made a scented candle, it would smell like bad coffee, unwashed jockstrap, and grass clippings.
I wasn't sure how you take your coffee.
You're listening to Morning Juice.
So, mouth or enema?
Second hour for us here on a Friday. Coming up here this hour, 7:20 this morning, Jackets Insider Jeff Svoboda. He's going to join us. And then at 7:30, Austin Ward, he will join us. We'll talk about a Buckeye draft perspective with him.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, the largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard in Central Ohio. And everything you need for the master griller.
NFL draft rule in the way last night. Baseball this weekend. Guards at home, continuing their homestand. They got the Red Sox coming into town tonight. Reds traveling out to Colorado to take on the Rockies. And then for your weekend, you get Cavs against the Heat tomorrow down in South Beach. Game number 3, I believe that is a 1 o'clock start for them down in Miami. And then the Crew hosts San Jose tomorrow evening over at lower.com field. Talked a lot about the Browns and the Bengals in the first hour. What else was surprising to you, interesting to you last night from the draft that was happening?
It's a good question, Beam.
I mean, I think honestly, it was the Jags going up to number 2 to get.
Yeah,
Travis
I think
Hunter.
that was there were no trades really coming in. Everybody's holding their pick, and you're thinking, okay, what's going to happen? And then poof, at number 2, something's happening.
Things getting close to happening.
And Browns are trading. Like, okay, well, are they going back? And then the key is, what did you get?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are you going to do with those picks? But I thought that was interesting. What else? I think Colston Loveland going ahead of Tyler Warren.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on XM all week in the afternoon on 84, and I've asked just about everybody that's come on, who I deem as like a football guy who knows about the draft.
Football guy. Love football guys.
And, well, I just wanted to see what their thoughts were. It's like, because both people said they thought they could, everybody I talked to, both guys could go inside the top 15, one could go inside the top 10.
And they both did.
So one went 10th, one went 14th. And there was the thought, like with the Bears wouldn't really want Tyler Warren. They have Kmet. And Loveland is a little bit more of an F, like an off-the-ball move guy, receiving threat. Tyler Warren's like your bigger physical guy, and believe me, just as good as receiving threat, but just different body type of what you're doing.
Different players, different skill set.
Players. So it makes sense of why it happened. But I don't think everybody I talked to go, well, who's going to go first? Tyler Warren. I'm like, who do you like more? Like, Tyler Warren, they're different a little bit in what you're asking him to do. But I think that was a little bit of a surprise. And then they said the Colts, once he started falling, boom, there. And then Kenneth Grade of Michigan going to the Dolphins. I think he went higher than I thought. I thought he would probably be more in the 20s. late teens, 20s. Going 13, I think, was just higher because he's a little bit of a projection guy too, where doesn't have quite the production and film that Mason Graham does, but has better probably traits.
I saw that guy once a year for the last few years, and he's a monster.
Believe me, but Mason Graham was more consistent than him.
Yeah.
And has the better overall film. Now, maybe that changes or not. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he's a beast. There's no other way than saying that Kenneth Grant will be very good. I was just fascinated by Mike McDaniel's outfit last night. I mean, he looks like he was working at, I know you said this a little bit earlier off air. I mean, it looks like he could be working at Stratton Oakmont selling you life bonds and insurance policies and making sure your 401k is good. Like he's got those gold rim glasses on.
Looks like a stockbroker.
Got a tan suit. His hair is kind of wet. I don't know if that's from sweat or if that's his look
just
that he's trying to project on. He's so South Beach, but in a kind of a nerdy way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like the nerdy stockbroker trying to be cool. I'm going to dress this guy up. I'm going to put all the chain. I'm going to give him a gold wrist chain, give him some glasses.
Porcelain veneers, get those shiny white teeth.
Yeah, and you look at him like, dude, this is Jonah Hill. Like, you can try to be as cool as you want. I mean, you're thinner than him, but this is what you are.
He is Jonah Hill. You're right. He's a lot thinner, to your point, than Jonah, but
much, much thinner. I mean, Mike McDaniels might get blown away by a stiff wind, but yeah, that's
like
kind of him.
In a 40-mile-an-hour headwind, because they showed Stephen Ross right after that, the Dolphins owner who's like 100 years old. I think that Stephen Ross has a better chance of standing up in a 40-mile-an-hour wind than Mike McDaniel does.
Oh, yeah. One other thing of note, interesting, the fact that Shedeur never went.
Yes.
Pittsburgh didn't take a quarterback.
No, they did not.
And who traded up for Dart? The Giants came back up for Dart.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Giants coming back up, and you were wondering, and this is what I always say, when you hear people like, oh, the Giants said it was the worst meeting ever with Shedeur and all this. Are you saying that because you actually want him? Is this like, are you
self-sabotaging yourself?
Yeah, are you like a fifth grade boy? Like, I don't like that girl, but I actually do. Like,
hey, ugly.
I make fun of her because I actually like her. And this is what, like, oh, teams are leaking out. I've heard the Giants this. Are we sure they're not leaking it out?
To tank his stock to be able to get him?
Yes.
It's lying. We call that lying season.
Lying season. And it was, in fact, true because they didn't actually go back up to get Shedeur. They went back up to get Jackson Dart.
Yes, they did.
If I have to hear anybody else tell me he can make all the throws and he can run and he can do all this throws, yes, it's all true. He can do everything for you. And I watched also have some good film. And then I watched him in critical moments of games do some knucklehead things.
His pants.
Yes, and so I can't unsee those things.
Are you guys taking Shedeur at 33? You think, Shark?
I don't know. I thought it was really interesting because you just knew when the Giants traded back into the first round,
they're getting a quarterback.
They're taking Shedeur.
Yeah,
you just knew it. And how about Mel? Mel was doubling down and tripling down.
Yes, he was.
They played that Aaron Rodgers montage. Joe Montana, third round. Tom Brady, third round. Aaron Rodgers passed over by these guys. What's his name? Not Alex Smith. Who we just replaced.
Pat
Mahomes. You know, this, all these guys.
Chiefs go up to get him. Look at him. Multiple Super Bowls, MVP.
The 8 guys who fell in the
Hall
draft.
of Famer. Hall
Six
of Famer.
of them had great career. I mean, Mel just could not get off Shedeur. He was going to make his
I've been projecting this since last February.
It's crazy.
But
I thought
he's got the Aaron Rodgers in the bag.
Yeah.
Like, that's his one that he can keep. I don't know why they're passing on him. This guy's great. I think he's better than Alex Smith. And it turns out like he was vindicated. And you're in Green Bay, so 4-time MVP, Super Bowl, Hall of Fame, all that stuff.
Yeah, he also had Jimmy Clausen at number 7.
No. This is
like
cares about
this
that
is
one.
like gambling. You only talk about the wins.
Right.
Don't ever talk about when you went to Vegas and got wiped. Hey,
What losses are you talking about?
I won $6,000. Yeah. Have you ever lost? No. I mean, well, it's okay sometimes.
Money's irrelevant.
Yeah. But I win more than I lose, do you? That's how they built the casinos.
That's also
by giving away more than they take in.
That's also how first-round draft picks for quarterbacks work out. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot. If you go back and look at the history of quarterbacks taken in round number 1, it is a coin flip whether or not you're going to get a guy who you can attach yourself for 10 to 15 years on. It is. It's a coin flip. You just don't know. I have no clue what these guys are capable of.
Well, and some of it is much situation as anything. Like, they may be good players. And there's guys I've watched who
they may be bad players.
Like, I think, not Derek, his older brother.
David Carr.
David Carr.
Terrible situation for him. Most sacked player in the NFL history, I think.
Derek Carr's had a pretty good NFL career. I think David was a much better player. He just went to an expansion franchise with no protection up front, a defensive coach who really didn't have a plan for him. And next thing you know, he's been sacked 250 times in 5 years. And then they say, well, he doesn't hang in the pocket. Well,
I wouldn't either.
Because there was no pocket to hang into.
I've always said, because hindsight tells you the Browns in their first expansion draft should have taken Donovan McNabb at number 1. They took
would he have
Tim Couch. And I always say McNabb would have been Couch had the Browns drafted McNabb at number 1. I also thought last night another surprise, and I agree with Bobby about the Tyler Warren pick. I thought for sure the Bears were going to take him.
They're always the smartest guys in the room.
The Arizona receiver.
Ted McMillan.
Yep.
Going, 8 or 9?
Mm-hmm.
That one surprised me because he's not usually, guys that high in the draft, the Jamar Chases are burners, and he's not. He's not a fast, great hands.
But look at what the Panthers are giving Bryce Young. I mean, it was Bryce Young redemption tour for the second half of the season last year. He goes number 8, Ted McMillan, the receiver you're talking about from Arizona. They're giving him a big body guy. You got Xavier Legette over there. You have, I still think Adam Thielen, a nice productive season for him last year. Like, now you've got dudes in that room to make Bryce Young a little more confident. Because he did. Credit to Bryce Young.
Yeah,
I mean, he was dead and buried, and they replaced him with Andy Dalton, and we talked about that a lot last year. Then Andy Dalton, freak accident, gets into a car accident, then pops back on the other side and has a really strong finish to the season. So they think now, okay, if he's reinvigorated, we believe in him. With everything going on, we're going to give him some weapons to see if he's the real deal.
I like it. But like to Shark's point, I mean, he's not a burner down the field. People thought he was the best receiver.
6'5", 220.
He's a big dude, no doubt. I'm not saying he won't be good.
He's a high point guy.
He is. He's a contested ball catcher. Like they kept saying Mike Evans is his comp, but we'll see what happens.
We're going to debrief the end of the hockey season with our guy, Jackets Insider Jeff Svoboda, coming up here next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
With some areas of wet pavement, you're going to find some slow spots. Even with the building traffic, you're a little slow in the east outer belts. Northbound between US 33 and I-70 east side. Also, I'm seeing heavy and slow traffic on South High Street between Row Road and London Groveport Road. And you'll be slowing a little bit in pockets out on State Route 161 eastbound approaching Beach Road. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Men, is good enough really what you want with your sex life? This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if erectile dysfunction is making for a bad bedroom experience for you and your partner, you should call us because you want your intimacy to be fantastic, both for you and the one you love. At Tri-State Men's Health, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we're a medical practice focused on men's sexual health, we can offer many treatment options and even combine treatments to find the right one for you. Which means if you're like most of our patients, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and make a change from good enough to really good. And for a limited time, we're offering new patients a free first visit to help you get the care you deserve. This includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose to demonstrate to you the amazing effectiveness of our treatments. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more locally grown goodness to life with a farm-fresh selection of crisp vegetables and juicy, ready-to-eat fruit. Whether topping off kebabs on the grill or adding healthy color to a leafy green salad, your family will definitely enjoy the delicious taste of Meijer produce. Plus, you'll appreciate the selection and savings we have to offer. That's the fresh-picked good life, priced for real life. We work hard to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
On April 25th, 1966, for the first time, the Reds played a game on AstroTurf in the Astrodome at Houston. The Astrodome had opened in 1965 with glass skylights and real grass, but the players often lost the ball in the light. They closed the skylights, but the grass died. So in 1966, the Astros installed plastic grass, and it was soon dubbed AstroTurf. Ironically, the Reds lost that first game on AstroTurf. Ironic because a few years later, the Reds would learn to love it. The Big Red Machine scampering over the plastic stuff at Riverfront Stadium on their way to becoming one of baseball's greatest teams. But a loss for the Reds on AstroTurf this April 25th, 1966. This date in Reds baseball.
This date in Reds baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Model year closeouts on travel trailers and fifth wheels. Save thousands and start making memories at Rona RV. Family owned and operated. No pressured sales on State Route 16 in Pataskala.
RonaRV.com. RonaRV.com.
Hello, radio listeners. The Fan is debuting a new lineup on May 12th. T-Bone and Tybus hitting leadoff at 6. Bishop and Friend stays at 9. That's not new. Rothman and Ice at noon. You already knew that. Common Man and Timmy at 3. That's slightly different. Even more inappropriate, if that's possible. And Beamer is the new host of The Buckeye Show. You're welcome. Or we're sorry. Pick one. Get all the details at 971thefan.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
As Ohio lawmakers continue to hammer out the details of the next state budget, they need to hear from you about why fully and fairly funding Ohio's public schools is so important. Please call your state senator today. Together, we can achieve our vision of the excellent public schools all Ohio students deserve.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Showers around this morning should start to become more widely scattered by the midday before we reach a afternoon high in the low 70s as more rain chances push back in, possibly some thunder as well for your evening commute. Temperatures will drop this weekend, but dry weather returns Saturday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Prime Sports is the official sports book of Morning Juice.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
The Fan. Bobby played football for Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. Beamer played football for a drunk named Joe who worked at the gas station. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hello, Friday. It is 7:20. No more hockey for the Jackets, but figure we'll have this guy on.
Morning Juice presents Talking Jackets.
Now it's Boone Jenner along the end boards, and he stuffs it behind Peter Mrazek for the score.
Sponsored by Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
For the final time of the hockey season, we will check in with our guy. He is Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda. Jeff, how's the first week of the offseason treating you, buddy? Doing all right?
I am doing okay, but I'm kind of hurt. There has to be a hockey season for you to want to talk to me? You can't just check in, say hi.
Hey,
what's up?
Listen, we can call you every Friday for the next 2 Fridays, all right? But that's all I'm guaranteeing you.
Well, that's you know what? That's fair. It is great to check in with you guys. It's great to hear your voice, and I appreciate everything throughout the season, and you guys having me on. But yeah, things are. Wish we were still playing hockey, but, getting back to normal life a little bit. So, yeah, things are good.
What's first order of business for this team this offseason, Jeff?
First order of business, that is a good question. I think, some of it's just obvious. You have to decide who you want to keep, who you want to get rid of. You've got a lot of, free agents to be unrestricted free agents. So you've got to decide who to keep and where you're going to go in a lot of those directions. But I think maybe the biggest thing is you're going to have to figure out how you want to spend your money, because this is a team that's going to have a lot of cap space. It is not going to be one of the best free agent markets we've ever seen. And you've got some guys, that you've got to figure out maybe long-term contracts for. So you've got to be smart and have a plan as to how you want to spend that money. I think it's obviously a good thing to be a team that has a lot of cap space, but you can't just necessarily step out there and just start throwing it around a little bit. You've still got to be smart with it because it can disappear pretty quickly. So you got to put a plan together as to how you're going to build this thing long term, so that what happened this season, building and getting close to the playoffs, is just a jumping off point, and it becomes something that's sustainably successful for a long time to come. So I think you've got a general manager who's pretty smart and who's done it before, and probably already has the makings of this plan. But you've still, you're in a situation now where he's been around for a year. He can put his stamp on the team. And so figuring out exactly the direction they want to go is going to be kind of the key of this offseason, because he's also a guy that's been creative before. So we'll see where it all goes. But, yeah, you've got to figure out kind of how you can take that next step if you're the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Are you able to watch the playoffs, or does it just sadden you right now, Jeff?
I probably haven't watched as much this year as previous seasons, which is weird because there are some matchups I really want to watch. I mean, Colorado, Dallas is really intriguing. Tampa versus Florida, two in-state rivals. But, yeah, you're right. It feels a little bit different this year, where I just maybe haven't been as interested in past years, probably because of the fact that it feels like the Blue Jackets should still be playing right now. So, yeah, I probably watched less than maybe the last couple of years, and I've talked to some fans and stuff that I think probably feel the same way. So, yeah, I would agree with you there, Bobby. It has been a little bit weird.
Jeff, do you think that this team, I mean, we're talking about roster overturn and signing guys to contracts. Like, what percentage do you think of the core nucleus is here right now?
Of the core nucleus, probably most of it.
Yeah.
You think of the players that kind of drive the bus, and Boone Jenner, Zach Werenski, long-term guys. Sean Monahan's locked up for a while. But really, there's going to become a point at some point in this franchise where it's going to be the young guys that kind of take over. The Fantillis, the Johnsons. As those guys get older, Marchenko, Voronkov, I'm naming players that were young and had great seasons. Denton Matejchuk. At some point, as those guys get older, it's going to kind of become their team. And that group, they're going to have to at some point kind of figure out long-term deals for a lot of guys, because Marchie and KJ signed actually what turned out to be pretty darn good deals for the Blue Jackets that are, I believe, 3 years each. But they don't have the long-term deals. But I think these are players you could build around. And it's a great young group that they have, and for them, it's a large percentage of what they're going to have going forward in the future. So yeah, I think they're going to add some key pieces, as they go forward here. But I think the bulk of what they want, Don Waddell said at Exit Day, that the bulk of what they're trying to build around is in this locker room, which is exciting if you're Blue Jackets fans, I think, because, you've got such a good young core that you feel like a lot of the pieces are there. It's not like they've got to, really have, a complete overhaul of what they're doing. It's just going to be adding complementary pieces and hope that these young players continue to get better at building around them.
What are they going to do about tending the goal next year?
Yes, that is the big question mark. And, certainly it is encouraging the way that Jet Greaves finished the season. He's a young goalie. He's got a one-way deal next season. It was funny. I was just up in Cleveland the other day because the Monsters started the playoffs last night, and everyone I talked to up there was just so excited. But they also said we were the least surprised people in the world. We've played with this guy for a couple of years now. We knew he was going to go to the NHL and do that. And so I think, he's an NHL goalie next year. You've got to figure out where you're going to do with Elvis Merzlikins and Daniil Tarasov, and what you're going to do. It means you could still have them. It's not like, they're in a necessarily a pressing situation as to where, Don Waddell said they could stick with the status quo. He said that he thinks Elvis won them more games this year than he lost and to them. And if you look at the bulk of the season, I think that's probably a fair statement. There were some struggles at the end, but there were some games that Elvis played really well throughout the year. And so if you have an Elvis and Jet duo, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Or you could decide to move on. I mean, Elvis has been with the Blue Jackets for a long time. There's been some ups and downs, certainly. The contract becomes a little bit more movable as you get further into it. I don't know that they're necessarily going to look to do that, but it's an option. Janil Tarasov is an RFA to be, and just kind of the way the season ended. I think there's a good goalie in there, but the consistency is also an issue with him. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if they come back with the same group. But with Jet taking on more of a role, I also wouldn't be surprised if they make some changes there. And I guess that's up to the big man.
He is Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. If you are the general manager, Jeff, because you do have a history and a background of tending the net, who starts out of those three guys? Who do you think gets the majority of the starts next year? If you're the general manager,
if I was the general manager, you're putting me on the spot. I can't, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally overreacting to 6 games at the end of the season.
Oh.
But I mean, how do you not like Jet Greaves? I mean,
we love him.
Yeah. And just the way that the team plays in front of him, not to take anything away from the other players, but you can tell that he's an easy goalie to play in front of. Guys love him. Guys love playing in front of him. Like I said, anyone you've talked to that's played with him loves playing for him, and I think he's got the game to be a successful goaltender at the NHL level. And so I'm not trying to take anything away from the other guys, but I feel like this is a guy that you're just going to have a really hard time keeping off the ice. And so, I could end up being completely wrong, but I just feel like this is a guy that is destined for something down the road, and maybe it'll be as soon as next year.
If you were to add one position, like if you could go out and add one position of significance, and that's where you would spend the bulk of this free agent dollars, where would that be on this team right now?
Yeah, without looking at the market and just living in an ideal world, I would say a right shot defenseman, because I think they would love to have Dante Fabro back. I think Dante Fabro wants to come back. He played very well with Zach Werenski. But if you look at just kind of the players that they have in the system and the players they have on the team, they've still kind of been looking for someone that really fits exactly with Zach Werenski. Z plays on the left side. He's obviously been incredible. He is going to probably be a Norris finalist when those votes come out next week.
I hope so.
I can't imagine he's not going to be. But just finding the perfect player to play with him on the other side is something that that there's just not a natural guy to do it. As well, Fabro played great. It fit really well there. But like a number one right shot defenseman, that they can have for a long time to play with Z would be the one thing I think you'd love to have. And so I would say that I don't know. I haven't really looked at the market yet. I don't know if that guy is out there. But in a perfect world, if you could find that, I think that would be something that would really make sense, because you also have to get better defensively. They gave up too many goals this year. That's just.
I thought we were all offense now.
High flying. West Coast air raid.
Big time. Let's push the puck.
Yeah. 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 If you could find a puck moving, but maybe. And I don't even know necessarily what the perfect player is to play with Zach Werenski because of how good he is. But I think that if you had someone that you could plug in there and feel confident in playing with him for a long time to come, I think that's something that would really help this lineup, help this team, and make the rest of their lineup make sense. So
just clone him.
That would be the one thing I'd be looking for if it's out there.
Yeah, I think you just clone Z, and then you'd be fine. Hey, before we get you out of here, what are your Browns doing at 33 tonight?
God, who knows? I didn't even really pay attention yesterday because they're dead to me. Did Shedeur get drafted?
He did not. No, he didn't.
All right. Well, I mean, you know what? It's second round. Why not take a chance on a quarterback? And if he isn't any good, you just draft another one next year or the year after that. So that's probably the direction they go.
It's been the strategy for them for years, and I think it's going to finally pay off this time. Buddy, always appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
There he goes, our guy, Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're going to break down the landing spots for the Buckeyes in the draft with our good friend Austin Ward coming up here in 2 minutes. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
We do have some Areas of wet pavement this morning and some slow spots. Now, there is an accident in the East Outer Belt northbound at US 33 Southeast. It's in the construction near the off-ramp, so use some extra caution there. Also on the south side, you're slowing on I-71 northbound between Greenlawn Avenue and I-70. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1 The Fan Traffic.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. This is your last chance to get an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. But hurry, these savings end soon. And this weekend only, we're open Sunday to give you an extra day to shop our expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. Time is running out. 20% off, store-wide savings. Visit diamondsdirect.com for details.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medication. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Just a couple of dudes being guys.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
You're listening to Morning Juice.
It is a Friday of the football variety. It's time to check in with our great friend, known as the Commissioner.
A guy who considers himself the mayor of Laramie, Wyoming, who holds the shuffleboard record at the Ranger, and most impressive, the commissioner of the Central Ohio Two-Man Scramble League. Here's Austin Ward.
So we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Commish, happy Friday to you. Happy draft day, rounds 2 and 3. 4 Buckeyes going in the first round. I don't think anybody anticipated that, A-Dub.
I did take the over on 1.5. I didn't think it was going to get quite as high as 4, but another great night for Ohio State, great representatives of the program, and the Buckeyes really kind of running up the score on the rest of the country. 9 more all-time first-round draft picks than any other program. Pretty remarkable, and you just think back to a lot of these decisions that these guys made 16 months ago. Stick around to go accomplish something else for Ohio State, win a national championship, but also take advantage of some opportunities, both in terms of NIL and development at the same time. They accomplished everything that they could have possibly wanted to, and there's going to be a bunch more of those guys who feel the same tonight.
Who was the most surprising to you that ended up going in the first round last night?
I should stop being surprised at this point, Bob, but I've had this conversation a number of times, and I don't know that I've ever been more wrong about a player than Tyleik Williams. And so I'm incredibly happy for him. It's fitting that he was able to, and part of it is not just like, well, I gave up on this guy. Like, there were times where Tyleik has had the same conversation that he had to take ownership and accountability for the way that he approached, work ethic, weight room, getting his body right, all those things. Like, I wasn't sure if that was ever going to happen for him. And I think if he was being honest, he wasn't sure if he was going to make those changes at one point. But then, about midway through that journey at Ohio State, you look at the last 2 years, the way he went about his business, played through injuries, which is another thing. Like, we weren't sure if we were going to see him do that at points in his career. He did everything that he could possibly do to put himself in a position like that. I didn't know that other teams were going to recognize that. He kind of got lost at times in the shuffle with all the stars on the Ohio State defense a year ago. He was really, I think, the guy who made everything else happen. We talk so much about the importance of winning up front, building with the defensive line, and then working out from there. And having him anchor things in the middle of the Ohio State defense, in the middle of that defensive line, was so critical. And I guess teams were noticing that because he gets up and gets a moment in the first round.
You have Emeka Egbuka, first Buckeye off the board last night. Really good landing spot for him down in Tampa Bay. I mean, goes to a room with Chris Godwin in it and Mike Evans in it. I know that Brian Hartline has commanded an unbelievable presence in his room during his tenure at Ohio State, Austin. But you want to talk about a pros room at Ohio State? That's about as big of a pros room as you can go to for a jump for Emeka to be walking into a really good situation down in Tampa.
Yeah, and this streak is not going to slow down anytime soon because you've got Carnell Tate and maybe Brandon Ennis at this time next year, and then some guy named Jeremiah Smith after that. But the legacy of that room, I think, gives you a little extra bump if teams are evaluating guys, and I think that it might be close at wide receiver. You're going to want to give the benefit of the doubt to the ones that have worked with Brian Hartline, that have come through the Ohio State program. I did say on the Buckeye show last night, I was certain that Emeka was going to be a first-round draft pick. I just couldn't really imagine him sliding out of it. That wouldn't have made any sense to me. Not the player that we've seen at full health, on the field, off the field. He gives you everything that an NFL franchise could possibly want as well. So I know that this all sounds like gushing and hyperbolic, but I think it was well-deserved for all of them. And the next one that came up there was, I didn't think that Donovan Jackson, I was watching the ESPN feed, so I'm not sure what they did on the NFL Network, but they made the pick and then immediately started talking about Shadur Sanders again and his slide. Donovan did not get his moment, I think, to really be appreciated for everything that he gave to Ohio State. But at the same time, it's similar to Emeka. I don't think he cares. He wanted to get picked somewhere, and he wanted to get to work. And it wasn't going to be about the spotlight. But I selfishly would have liked Donovan to get more attention because I thought that the national championship could not have happened without his move out to left tackle. And I think that would have been a nice use of 6 or 7 minutes to talk about what he could give to the Vikings, but that didn't happen. But I think all these fits were great for those guys last night.
Yeah, because Donovan's dad didn't play in the NFL and isn't a Hall of Famer, Austin. So that's why he doesn't get the requisite space to really explore it. Josh Simmons slides down. I've heard people say he's maybe the most talented tackle in this draft. He was coming off the injury. And there were some questions about, his love for football and some different things, which I always think, with how a guy dresses and what they do and, the fact he's got a nose ring and stuff. And I told him to take that crap out, and so did Braves. So it's because you're going to give people a reason why not to draft you. That's what they're looking for. But Andy Reid doesn't care about that stuff. They go with a tackle. They're always trying to bolster up. Surprised that he was there, the final pick of the draft.
Yeah, I was. I guess most of the surprise was actually that Josh Simmons on Thursday night lasted as long as he did because there have been a ton of conversation.
Got great stamina.
That's the first 6 games before the injury at Oregon, Bob. We were talking about a guy who could be a top 10 pick in the draft last night. So, the fact that he was there, the fact that he winds up going to Kansas City to help Patrick Mahomes, which is the one thing that he really needed where they got eaten alive, kind of annoys me in a lot of ways because I know how good Josh Simmons can be, and I don't want the Chiefs to be getting that kind of help and to be getting that really falling into their lap. Someone who, again, a lot of talent evaluators looking at the first half of that season before the injury were thinking he could be the first tackle off the board. And at that point, Ohio said, well, I guess this chances of getting him back and putting in an NIL package to get one more season out of Josh Simmons would probably be a little bit of waste of time. I guess from that perspective, it did work out okay for them because they got to go dive into the portal a little bit early to get Ethan Onyanwa and Philip Daniels, but that's getting ahead of things. But yeah, I guess the surprise of the night for Ohio State would be that Josh Simmons lasted as long as he did there.
Hey, before we get you out of here, how many Ohio State players do you think have the potential to go tonight in rounds 2 and 3?
Boy, I think there's going to be a real run on them. 8, maybe. That almost feels like not enough because if you go through the list, should Travion go tonight? Yeah. Should Will Howard go tonight? I think so. You just every position, Quinshon, go on down the list. All these guys have Cody Simon. I think anyone who waits on Cody Simon, I think, is making a huge mistake. Jack and JT. I think you look at the legacy of Hamilton family and what Devon has come, and like Ty Hamilton, I don't think should last very long on these draft boards either. Denzel Burke, I mean, I guess I could keep going, but I think all these guys are going to be in that second to third round range, and we'll see how it transpires. I guess the real mystery is what happens with Will Howard's status and how quickly teams want to move on him, how high up the draft boards he could go. But I mean, I really think everyone who went to the combine is going to hear their name called, and I think that Josh Fryer should as well. I can't really understand why he didn't go to Indianapolis. I'll never understand that. So I think they'll get to 16 overall, but it'll be fun to watch.
It'll be very fun to watch. That 16 number is big time. I mean, Ryan Day, I just saw today, someone put in the chat earlier, 10 losses at Ohio State, 14 first-round draft picks. You want to quantify that for us and what that means?
Bob, that's a championship ratio.
I like that. Championship water, championship ratio, championship mindset. I mean, that's really where we're going. I mean, well, there's a term that they have over there, Austin. It's in the weight room. I think it's out in the indoor. Developed here, is that a thing?
Developed here, yeah. It's catching on a little bit. As I said, 9 more first-round draft picks than any other program in the country. 95 after last night. It's crazy. And as I said, I mean, Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith would have been first-round picks if they were eligible last night. Like, there's more coming. When we say this a lot, it's not just because we cover Ohio State or we live in Columbus or we talk on the fan. Like, this program is more rock solid for now and into the future than any other in the country. Like, they've got it going right now.
Well, I mean, listen, if you've got the stamina and you can be rock solid, Austin, I don't know really what else you could ask for. You have a great Friday.
Hey,
get a sponsorship for it.
They also have a mantra over there that the standard is the standard. I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not.
Pass that on to Nicole.
Yeah, she'll understand that. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll check in with you again next week, all right?
Guys, my culture is fight. So, yeah.
There it goes. Austin Ward with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Whole heck of a lot to be juiced about on this Friday. We do that next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Roads are wet in spots out there today, and we do have an accident on the East Outer Belt, northbound at US 33 Southeast. The left lane is blocked here. It's an accident in the construction zone near the off-ramp, so it's definitely causing some delays. Also, traffic slows on the south side on I-71 northbound between Greenlawn Avenue and I-70. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
When you join the plus side with AAA, that's all you'll have to do. Or you could learn to change your own tire.
Hey fam, what's up? Today I'm going to teach you to change a flat. Before we start, make sure it's not raining, or hailing, or lightning.
Skip the hard work. On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Everybody poops. Everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinder Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HinderMotorCompany.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Evan Cohen here. When the draft clock is ticking, you've got to pick the best talent, regardless of position, to fit your team's needs. Well, if you're hiring for your business, you want to find the best talent for any of your roles. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology hustles to find qualified candidates for your job immediately. And if you see a standout candidate, ZipRecruiter lets you personally invite them to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
The best mornings
in the morning light
start with Wrangler.
Pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. If you can find a show that's closer to Buckeye football, it would be hosted by Ryan Day. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hey, it's not what you win or what you lose. It's the friends that you make along the way. It's what you save with Prime Sports Ohio. Betting reduced juice with Prime Sports Ohio. It's the way to save money on every single bet. Prime Sports is the only sports book where you can choose a professional account with -108, reduced juice betting, or sign yourself up for a regular recreational account with -110. It also comes with a loyalty program where you earn cash back on your bets. I know you love the loyalty program, Bob.
Loyalty is big. Authenticity is huge. Prime Sports offers the same betting limits to all members. They don't even talk about your contracts to other folks, and does not put any restrictions on winning players. Prime Sports treats all members fairly and equally, so download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsohiobook.com. Use promo code JUSTSPORTS. It's almost like Huey Lewis in the news for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Loyalty, congruency, they're all the same thing. Bob, it's got you fired up today.
It's amazing. Usually when you choose a professional shark, it costs you more on the nightstand than this is going to cost you less. It's a great deal. It's phenomenal.
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke, Beam. It's tremendous. Gosh, so much got me juiced. That draft last night, I love it. I love a good reason to have some wine on Thursday night and sit there and something that's really going to entertain me. And it was unique because I could watch the top of the draft. I knew Buckeyes probably weren't going to go in the top 10. Seeing what the Browns did, I like it. Just talking to Bake, I mean,
he's all in.
The Browns, we'll get into all of this, but they've got some really good options here. So that's got me fired up with everything juiced up here. It's Friday. We got 2 weeks left, Beam. Don't count the days, make the days count. So excited. Probably going to maybe in the final week take some calls, and so we're going to figure that out. Yeah, we're going to make sure.
We need to teach Shark how he, like.
So you can't teach an old shark new tricks, but we're going to try.
We need to teach him how to field calls and screen them.
It's good.
He doesn't even know how to bring up the call screen system.
We're gonna learn.
It's above my pay grade.
No, it's not. It's exactly
give me a raise in my final few months.
We'll give you a quarter more.
Maybe a nickel. I don't know. So that's got me just 4 Buckeyes going. Tyleek, probably the unexpected one. Okay. And then I think you'll see a run of Trey, JT, Quinshawn, Jack. I mean, there's going to be a bunch of guys, Denzel, that'll start going here very early. So huge for that. And it's Al Pacino's birthday today. I always love Ryan Day. He talks about the elements of trust, the 3 elements: character, competence, and connection.
The 3 C's.
The 3 C's. And then you have to be consistent with all of that. And like anytime you want to have trust and stuff, you need to have that. But this is a different type of coach. Al Pacino, one of his great monologues from any given Sunday.
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now. We can stay here, get the kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back. We can climb out of hell, 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. On this team, we fight for that inch. When we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying.
Edited that down a little bit, Shark, and a good job.
It's like 4 minutes long.
But it's so good.
I've listened to that speech multiple hundreds of times.
It's so good. And you know what? That's how life works. And sometimes you get the breaks, sometimes you don't.
Yep.
Sometimes it's fair, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you get what you deserve, sometimes you don't. But as Clint Eastwood said, deserving ain't got nothing to do with it. So you understand there's a plan, and there's a bigger purpose, Shark, and you press onward and upward. What's Slay's got to say?
I always say life is a highway. And then somebody stole that line and made $1 million out of it.
I've trained my stomach and my body to absorb that much caffeine. Listen, I could drink a coffee. Oh, man, when I'm on those cruise ships, I'll take an Americano and a double shot of Bailey's every night at 7:30. That sounds amazing. 4 shots, though. I like 4 shots of espresso in that Americano.
Espresso with the X.
Espresso.
One day you'll learn, maybe not.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
What has me juiced? I get to run up to Ashland tomorrow. That's always fun. Mom needs to have her pillbox filled, and that's my duty now. She can't figure it out, so I have to put 14 pills a day in the various time slots.
Has she figured out how to work the TV remote yet?
No.
Okay.
She hadn't figured out how to use her cell phone either.
You think she will?
I think she used to know, and she forgot. I don't think it's coming back to her. And I'm not trying to make a joke about you, Mom.
It's no joke, Shark.
She's a couple months away from her 88th birthday.
Oh.
That's where we're all going to be, when we're 88. Then I get to come back and tomorrow night go see Neil Diamond's Beautiful Noise at the Ohio Theater. I'm looking forward to that. I will probably sing every song that Neil has ever sung. And looking forward to that. And then just a reminder, today's the 25th. You've got 8 months to get your Christmas shopping done. Beam, don't wait till the last minute.
I like how you're always reminding us how many months away we are from Christmas.
Oh, by the way, another thing has me juiced. Evan Mobley wins NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
I had that on Quick Hitters. I thought for sure you were going to use that this morning for that story.
Well, we only got to 2 stories. We didn't get to that third one, but he had this almost the same exact stats as he had last year, rebounds, blocks, and steals. And he didn't get in the top 10 last year, but did it this year because they're winners. Go ahead, Ben.
Say it. Say what you're laughing at, because I know what you're laughing at.
I don't.
Someone in the chat said, Shark, your mom's VCR is still flashing 12 o'clock.
Isn't that the truth?
You're a good son, Shark. You're a good man. You know that? You're very good. I'm sitting in. I'm settling in for the draft. We put William down to bed last night, making a couple of phone calls, and then finally,
the flower bed?
Yeah, and then, well, he was just laying down in the flower bed for 10 minutes at a time. Thought he was taking a nap in there. Meredith snapped a great picture of him, but I'm settling in for the draft last night. Of course, they're bringing up Packers legends. The draft is in Green Bay, and Clay Matthews walking out on the stage. It's like, I just got a message from our 47th president of the United States of America. I did too. I'm like, it's got the White House insignia. Like, what is he about to say on this? Like, what is in this piece of paper? And he turns it around to the camera. He's like, the Bears still suck. I'm like, it's good job, Clay. Nice job on the troll. Like, I felt like I caught a stray there, but it was a good job for him. I had a great time watching the draft last night. It was pretty entertaining. So all in all, very nice little Thursday. Beautiful weather that we've been having. All that's got me juiced here for a nice, robust weekend we're about to have. Hey, we got a real Big Ten versus SEC affair going on in the draft. We'll get into that coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
An accident on the East Outer Belt northbound at US 33 Southeast is blocking the left lane. It's in the construction zone near the off-ramp, so that's keeping things slow. Also on the east side, I-70 westbound at I-270, we have an accident. You are slow from the county line there. And an accident West Broad Street at I-70. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by RCD-RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, or at rcdrv.com.
Buy now with pre-tariff pricing at Coughlin Kia. Lease a new 2025 Kia K4, just $195 a month plus taxes and fees. Or choose low 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2025 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
1.9% for 60 months equals $18.37 per 1,000 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents per mile over. 2025 due. Excludes $250 dock fee, $400 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details and 43025.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here with an opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th. Yes, pounds, and why not? I dropped my first 40 in just 8 weeks. It was easy, and it will be easy for you too. Take the medication-free and lasting approach. Awaken180weightloss.com.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. This is your last chance to get an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. But hurry, these savings end soon. And this weekend only, we're open Sunday to give you an extra day to shop our expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. Time is running out. 20% off, store-wide savings. Visit diamondsdirect.com for details.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Before you start your day, UDF has already started making your breakfast right in our bakery. We've got buttery, flaky croissants baked before the crack of dawn. We're making fluffy buttermilk biscuits from scratch by the time the sun starts to think about rising. And before you hit your first alarm, we've piled our biscuits and croissants high with sausage, egg, and cheese right in store. So come in and grab a fresh one and let us make you a morning person. Fresh baked breakfast sandwiches from United Dairy Farmers. UDF, mornings made for you.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit ohiomulch.com today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan.
Good morning, I'm Mark Bishark. The Browns held the second overall pick in the 2025 draft. Shortly after the first round began last night, Cleveland dealt that pick to Jacksonville along with the 104th and 200th overall selections. In return, the Jaguars sent to the Browns the 5th overall pick plus the 36th and 126th picks in this draft and a 2026 first-round selection. Jacksonville quickly drafted Colorado's Heisman winner, Travis Hunter, with the second pick. Cleveland selected Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham. Meanwhile, as expected, Miami Hurricanes quarterback Cam Ward went number 1 to Tennessee. With the 17th pick, the Bengals grabbed Texas A&M edge rusher Shamar Stewart. In the NBA, Evan Mobley of the Cavaliers has been named the league's Defensive Player of the Year. This Sports Center is sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net. Breaking sports news on The Fan.
Hash browns and smackdowns. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour 3 for us here on a Friday. Coming up this hour, maybe AJ Hawk. He might join us at 8:30, but he's in Green Bay. Was having a great time at the draft last night.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, the largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard in Central Ohio. And everything you need for the master griller.
Guards, Red Sox this weekend up in Cleveland. Reds on the road taking on the Rockies. You got game number 3 of the NBA playoffs in the first round. Cavs traveling to South Beach to take on the Heat, 1 o'clock tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, right here, right in Columbus, your Columbus Crew will take on San Jose tomorrow night over at lower.com field. NFL draft going on. Brownies made a massive move. Well, I should say the Jags made a massive move to go up in the draft. Sitting at number 5 were the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ended up trading them up to number 2 to go and get Travis Hunter, two-way dynamic superstar out of Colorado, Heisman Trophy winner, Biletnikoff winner. The Browns moved down 3 spots. Here's what the Brownies got out of it. Number 5 pick, in which they took Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Hell of a football player. Got a second-round pick, number 36 in the draft. So they're sitting at 33 and 36 tonight. They got a 4th-round pick, number 126, and they also received the first-round pick from the Jags from next year. That's quite a haul to move down 3 spots.
It really is. And you got some ammo. How do you fire it?
Yeah.
I mean, do you shoot yourself in the leg, Plexico Burris, or can we get some good players? I was talking
Target down range. Can we make something happen?
You need some offensive weapons. There's some Luther Burden slid down.
Mm-hmm.
Travion Henderson's still there. I know you're not probably thinking running back, but to me, he's more than a running back because he's an explosive game breaker.
Well, he's also a heck of a pass blocker as well.
He can block, he can catch. Could Kevin Stefanski, is he creative enough to get him out of the backfield and utilize him like that? There's also Mason Taylor, who you like. So, there's 3 guys there, and you have the first 4 picks. So odds are you can probably get most of that. And then also the big wild card for the Browns is I don't think they're taking a quarterback. If you listen to Andrew Berry's comments.
That's what the people want, though, Bob.
That's fine.
That's what Shark wants. He's been saying it the entire time.
Shark told him one time, let them eat cake. All right? That's what he said outside of Reliance Stadium after he was stealing, doing whatever. He said, let them eat cake. But Will Johnson is falling.
Will Johnson, another heck of a player.
I thought Will Johnson's a top 10 talent. I don't know if the Browns value him as that. If they do, I know you don't really need a corner, but you have a chance to get one of the best 2 corners in the draft in the second round.
Yep.
So you start asking yourself the question, I know can we still get another playmaker there? But now you're sitting in that position, and heck, there might be somebody who wants to trade up 3 or 4 spots just to get him. And so maybe Will Johnson. So you might be able to work around with that and get some value out of there.
Get some more picks. Load them up.
And that's key. Move back 2 or 3, 4 spots, whatever, and still have a cluster of maybe able to get a guys and pick up another 3rd rounder. Because this is where this draft is thick. It's real girthy between 20 and 80. And so you have a chance to get a lot of guys in there that are pretty good.
Here was what Andrew Berry was saying, what you were alluding to on why they ultimately made the deal with the Jags last night.
We just felt like it was a fantastic opportunity for our organization to move down 3 spots, still get a top-notch prospect in the trenches, adding a pick, in what we view as really the sweet spot for this year's draft class, and then adding a first-round pick next year, in a class that, quite frankly, we think will be a bit stronger in the first 30 picks. So we just felt like over both in the short term and over a multi-year time horizon, it was a fit, for what we wanted to do with the team and what we wanted to do with the roster. And, we're excited to add Mason. We're excited to add the extra draft resources both this year and next.
Listen to what he said there. It is a sweet spot of this year's draft. We're adding picks in this year's draft because they're picking at 36. They already had their 33rd pick, which is their first on the clock tonight when they resume the draft at 8 o'clock. You get number 36, sweet spot in the draft, between 20 and 80.
Mm-hmm.
You just mentioned there's a lot of really good prospects. Maybe not the top-end blue chippers that we've become accustomed to in recent drafts, but still heck of football.
But there weren't a lot of those guys in this draft anyway.
Correct. So if you're going to have picks, it's a good spot to have. What else did he address there? We feel like maybe next year will be a little top-heavier with a top 30 pick. You also got that in return, and the coup de grace, the entire thing, you still got one of the best draft prospects in Mason Graham.
Yeah, so you got a really good player. You have draft capital for a better draft next year, and you got draft capital in the sweet spot of this year's draft. Now, how to use it? Well, we'll see.
That's up to you. But what would you do if you're them?
It would be really hard to pass Will Johnson.
Really hard.
Unless someone would give me something else for him, and you could slide back a handful of spots.
Maybe to a 38?
Yeah. And you still feel like, the thing is, you still need to find a way to get a playmaker, whether that's Mason Taylor, whether that's Trey Henderson, whether that's a Luther Burden who slid out, who a lot of people maybe had him penciled and pegged somewhere in the late teens to end of the first round, the wide receiver out of Missouri. And so those are some of the different options for you if you're in Cleveland. And the thing is, you hold 2 of the first 4 picks. So you have some choices and some flexibility, like trading back 2 or 3 to 5, 6, 7 spots, something like that. You still have that one sitting there at 4. And so you ask yourself, you're trading up for Will Johnson, and the next 2 picks, would someone take Luther Burden? Is that a real thing? And so you're just trying to kind of do that calculus of how that ultimately looks and what you're choosing to do. it's something that's very interesting.
Yeah, I think they have to go playmaker, and I'm with you. Sharky, as the resident Browns fans here, what do you want to see him do at 33?
Well, I think Will Johnson's probably the best player available, but they have so many holes, and cornerback really isn't one of them, except the 5 or 6 games that Denzel's hurt every year.
But do you subscribe to the theory, and you said it earlier this week, that you go best player available.
Yeah, and I think he is the best player available. And I kind of disagree with Bob about a quarterback. I don't think they're going to take a quarterback at 33 or 36. I think they will draft a quarterback tonight. I don't know. Well, I shouldn't even say tonight. At some point in the draft, they're gonna draft a quarterback. I'm a homer, but I like Travion.
Yeah.
You're looking at they're probably going to re-sign Chubb to a nice discounted contract, and they've got Ford. But man, they could use Travion.
You could always use more backs
out of the backfield like that, and they, skill positions still need a receiver.
So I think.
But you got 4 picks tonight.
That's what I'm saying. You've got
2 in the second, 2 in the third.
You've got the 3rd pick of the 3rd round, and then you also have the 30th pick of the 3rd round. And so maybe at one of those, maybe that last pick in the 3rd round, depending on who's there at quarterback, who you like, maybe you grab a guy at that point. Maybe it's a guy in the 4th.
Maybe it's a guy who just won the national championship.
Maybe it's that guy.
Which guy? I mean, there's a lot of guys who just won the national.
No, the quarterback, he said.
So, and here's the thing with Will Johnson is you look at his best available position rank. As per ESPN, they have him number 2, but they have him 10th overall player in the draft.
Yeah.
And so if you're the Browns and you have him anywhere between 8 and 12, it's like you have a guy who's 20 spots back. I mean, I may have eaten steak for 3 days in a row, but if I'm going to Hyde Park or Jeff Ruby's, they say, you know what? We've got a tomahawk ribeye in the back. It's
on the house.
Normally $150, and we can give it to you for $45.
Give it to you at cost.
Let's go. Sign me up. Medium rare, and let's eat that thing. I was planning on getting fish, but I'll go one more time.
Maybe a little peppercorn sauce to go on it too.
Yeah,
sounds really good.
These teams had 24 hours to sleep on this. If you're going to take Will Johnson, take him at 33 because he's not going to be there at 36.
No,
that's the thing.
No.
And here's the other piece. Maybe you get on the phone and you start looking around. It's like,
I think they've already probably been on the phone.
And that's what I'm saying. They have all day to think about it. Is there are the Raiders or the Patriots, they're sitting there like, are those the teams that said, hey, gosh, we could get this guy and Browns really don't need him. You could slide back from 33 to 38, 37, and then still probably get the guys you want, and maybe you're able to pick up something in the 3rd or 4th round that would still be able to give you something of value.
Let me ask you this, Bob. There were 15 guys that were in the green room when the night started. 13 of them were drafted. You got 2 guys left. Do you take 2 suits to Green Bay?
Ooh. In preparation?
Or do you wear the same suit 2 nights in a row?
You're probably not getting a lot of TV time last night.
Yeah. Well,
a lot of people don't know.
That's true. But you've been sitting in the darn thing for probably, I'm guessing, 8 hours. It's not like they put that thing on at 8 o'clock and walked in there.
Then they slept overnight in the green room.
They're keeping them in there. They did look like an upgrade. It didn't look like card tables.
It is. I mean, they made that thing cool.
It was nice.
But let me ask you this. Where are the people walking around with the meat carving stations and like the food and the cocktails?
The champagne flutes.
Yeah, I want this thing to be like a Vegas casino. Like every time you turn around, can I get you something, sir? Yeah, you know what? Walking around like you're at appetizer, some heavy hors d'oeuvres. Like, give me something to do.
Give me something of substance.
I need to eat some food.
I'm a nervous eater and drinker.
100%. I would be if I lasted.
Imagine if you were sliding in the first round.
And I'm waiting for someone to stand up and fall down.
Yeah. I was so happy that the Colts took me. Thanks for trading back up in the first round to get me. Go Baltimore.
Like you walk up and you're talking and you fall into the reporter. Like a little Joe Namath. Maybe a Susie Culver, Joe Namath situation. Susie Culver, hey, I want to kiss you. You look really pretty. I want to kiss you.
Maybe that happens tonight. Maybe we'll get that situation.
Got a little like steak sauce on the side of your mouth, Some
ketchup stains on your shirt.
That's the problem. You got those suits. I mean, those guys would have to wear a full bib, like a hazmat suit while you're eating so you don't get it messed up.
Projection versus production is something that the Bengals were weighing last night. We'll get into that coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
An accident US 23 southbound between State Route 361 and State Route 207 is back open, but the right lane is still closed, so traffic is still backed up in the area. We also have an accident on the east side on I-70 westbound at I-270. Your right shoulder is blocked and you're slow from the county line. Also, watch for slowdowns on the south side, I-71 northbound Frank Road to I-70. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes who are going above and beyond in their communities. Newman Roofing wants to recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in their towns to be recognized on 10 TV and The Fan. Stay tuned as we begin announcing the selected honorees who truly embody the spirit of Newman Roofing's commitment to community.
Aaron, I've got an idea.
Is it a new invention?
Of course it is. That's why I'm known as Jerry the Genius.
Really? I've never heard anyone call you that.
Get Eco.
ECO. I've invented the hot water heater ambulance.
Does it have lights and sirens?
No.
It would be better if it had lights and sirens.
Get Eco.
ECO. So you agree that being without hot water is an emergency, right?
Of course I do. That's why we guarantee to replace your water heater the same day you call us.
But what if I call late in the afternoon?
Call us anytime before 5 p.m. and we'll get it installed that day.
Get Eco.
ECO. But what if after you get there, I change my mind and decide I want a tankless water heater instead of one like I had?
Then we'll install a tankless water heater for you instead of the one you had.
Same day?
Same day.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Go to geteco.com.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sportsbook. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling. 1-800-COOLING.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
May I have your attention for some important programming news? Sorry. T-Bone and Tyvis are hosting mornings, weekdays at 6 starting May 12th. That means Common Man and Timmy will share Bro Love at 3. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at rain showers around for your morning commute. Those will start to become a few less in number as we head toward the midday, but then pick back up this afternoon, possibly with some thunderstorm activity as highs work their way into the 70s. Temperatures out there drop to the 60s for Saturday, but dry weather returns for the weekend. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Prime Sports is the official sports book of Morning Juice.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit online at primesportsbook.com.
The Fan. Beamer has a very punchable face, so Bobby punches it. This is Morning Juice.
By the way, programming note, no AJ today. He's in Green Bay. His phone doesn't work up there, apparently.
He texts me. It works enough to text. I mean, he's an hour ahead, and they may have stuff going on.
I'm guessing they've got production meetings and all kinds of stuff happening.
Him and Clay might be wrestling or something.
In the hotel room?
In the hotel room.
Bathrobes? Yeah. On or off?
Ooh, that's a good start on, finish off.
Yeah, it's smart. It's exactly the way you want it to work.
Absolutely.
Was he up on stage last night? I didn't, he was doing the broadcast.
Well, they were on stage just doing the broadcast, like on the side stage, I think.
I didn't click over to them at all.
I saw all the clips that they were coming in on social. They had one of the
I saw
fake Mel Kiper up there.
I saw a video where Pat was hitting a vape pen. Asked Mike McCarthy if he wanted any. Mike McCarthy waved him off, and then he just tossed it into the stands.
Yeah, a little bit for the folks out there.
They have to be having a great time out there. By the way, good job, Green Bay. There seemed to be 1 million people there last night.
There were. And
Holy smokes.
And it helps when the Packers are drafting, 20, what were they,
20-something.
4 or something, 22, 3. Yeah, so people hung around, and everyone in Green Bay. The thing is, it's
23.
There's not a ton of hotels and stuff. It's not ideal for transit and travel. Like, a lot of times the teams...
It's a neighborhood.
You would stay in Appleton. Like, there's just... Yeah. I mean, most people probably haven't been to Green Bay. Like, I've been there to play, and then I went up there 2 or 3 times to visit AJ in the summer.
Seems like a lovely place to live.
It really is. In the summer, it's great. He lived on the Fox River. We'd go out there, hang out on a boat, do some weight. Like, all the players lived on the water. And they would just ride boats back and forth to their house.
And then in the wintertime, they can just ride snowmobiles across the frozen lake.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cold. He would send me pictures. I go, this is great. He goes, in the summer. He goes, and it's still like, you're coming up here on the 4th of July. He goes,
this is like primo, buddy. This is prime
summer.
time.
He goes, what sucks about playing football is by the time it gets really nice in August, we're back in practice. So
well, at least it's not 95 degrees with 2,000% humidity up there.
That is true. It's more humid than what you would think, but yeah, so they had all that. I thought Green Bay did a good job. It was well attended. A lot of juice.
You know the number count between the Big Ten and the SEC from last night? Were you keeping score at home?
I'm guessing. This is crazy. The top 5 picks, none of them were from the SEC.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking, like...
Will Campbell was. He's an LSU guy.
Oh, that's right. Number 4. But coming in, like, looking at that, I was like, man, there's... Of the top guys that were projected to go... You're talking about a lot of Big Ten guys.
ACC, Big 12.
Big 12. I mean, it was a little different, and I think that was reflective in how the SEC played this year.
So the total number in the first round, again, there were 32 picks in the draft last night. 26 total went from the Big Ten or the SEC, 15 from the SEC, 11 from the Big Ten.
It's pretty good.
That's a monster number of first-round picks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's where talent is all kind of concentrating, and I mean, the fact that number's tight like that, and Ohio State carrying the load, water once again. Michigan actually, providing some good value there.
3 of them, and surprising they didn't get a 4th with Will Johnson.
Will Johnson, who would have been the 4th, and that would have helped out, get that done. But yeah, it was good to see that, and Ohio State obviously showing out, and then you had a couple guys from Penn State as well that were thrown in there. Anybody else? Iowa didn't have anybody this year.
Iowa didn't have anybody.
Occasionally Iowa has a lineman in there. None of Indiana's guys.
Derek Harmon went to the Steelers. He's an Oregon guy. We claim him. He's a Big Ten guy.
Gosh, I forgot about that. Thinking about Oregon, I thought that there might be another Oregon guy that would maybe slide in, and that didn't potentially happen.
Commanders took one of their big offensive tackles late. You must have gone to bed. You went to bed right after Tyleek got picked at 28th, but Oregon did. Connerly, I think was his. Yeah, Connerly got picked by the Commanders right after Tyleek went to the Lions.
Yeah.
But yeah, 15 against 11. I mean, it's pretty it's pretty good,
pretty
man.
good.
It's a good chunk of your first rounders coming from either the Big Ten or the SEC. What do you think of the Bengals taking Shamar Stewart at 17? Obviously, they have an entire situation going on with Trey Hendrickson. You have Sam Hubbard, who retired during the offseason. This is a guy, when you look at him, Bob, I mean, he's 6'5", 270. You get a look at him.
40.
Yeah. I mean, freak. He's a freakazoid. You know, you just look at him, you hear everything about him, how he's first off the bus guy, last guy to leave the facility, hard hat, lunch pail. But then you look at his production and his numbers, 1.5 sacks in 2022. 1.5 sacks in 2023, 1.5 sacks last year, 4.5 total in his college career. Now, there's a lot of variations and things, and we always talk about production numbers, Bob, and what that actually looks like on the stat sheet and what that looks like when you're actually watching the game. I didn't watch a ton of Shamar Stewart at Texas A&M. I'll be 100% honest with you, but it is interesting that they are going on the projection versus production model. They're going projection. Is what they're leaning into with Shamar Stewart.
And, you know, the old adage, and this is Mike Tannenbaum told me this. This is the Giants methodology, Bill Parcells, George Young, when they were building those teams in the 80s and 90s, draft good players from big schools, like productive players from big schools, and ask them to do the same thing at the next level. And, you know, he's from a big school. He wasn't overly productive, has all of the elements, and so his pre-draft analysis from Mike Miller, you know, it's his pro comp is Danielle Hunter, who very similar to him, didn't have a lot of production in college.
Yeah, he's got 90 plus now in his career.
But he's getting close to be a triple-digit guy. But Stewart recorded just 11 tackles for loss and 4.5 sacks in 3 seasons at A&M. Tape is better than his production, so he's around the ball. He's disruptive. He just hasn't been getting the stats, which it's a little bit like Tyleek this year. Like if you watch the games, like, man, Tyleek
he's wrecking
Williams,
games.
he's impacting it in a big way. Other guys were benefiting from that. He's getting up the field and doing some things. He gets off the ball well, shoots his hands well, long arms, presses blockers off his flame, chases with great effort, flashes excellent closing speed. So, like, the guy plays hard. So you'd think that as athletic as he is, he'd have more production.
But also, too, you just brought in Al Golden, who's a great developer of talent.
Yes, and you hope that he can get it done, and you hope that he can kind of model some of his stuff after Trey Hendrickson.
Of course. That guy's still going to be in the room. He's still on the roster. He's still under contract with the Bengals. I know he wants a new one, but he's still there.
10 feet, 11-inch broad jump.
He's a freak.
40-inch vertical jump, 1.58, 10-yard split. I mean, just crazy athletic. But you hope that he can turn that crazy athleticism into being a linchpin on that team.
Here's what Al Golden had to say about Stewart last night and how effective he can be at this level.
He's got the reach and the length to do it. He's got the bend at the top, and he's got the, speed to power long arm. So he's got a lot of the things that we want. He's a strong edge setter, but we feel like he's got the traits that we covet, and the play demeanor that we don't have to do anything but get him out there and watch him do it. So from that standpoint, we're excited to work with him.
There's a lot to be excited about with Shamar Stewart. There is. Just look at him.
All the physical tools. And here's the question then you ask yourself, and this is ESPN's grade, so you have no idea. Cincinnati obviously valued him high.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was any type of consensus or what that looked like around the league. But ESPN had his position ranked 6th, overall rank 22, grade 89. So, you feel like you got pretty decent value there. What are we going to do, trade back 5 spots to try to get him there? So people valued him, you feel like, across the league. And you got a player who could be really good, but you haven't seen those flashes, or you've seen the flashes, you just haven't seen that consistent production, which you're going to need. But they were able to get a very talented player, I think, gifted athlete, at a position of need with pretty good value. So I like that for Cincinnati.
What do you think they're going to do today? They've got pick 17 in the second round, which is 49th. So they got that going on.
Draft a wide receiver.
In the second. Yeah. Go ahead and add another one to your room. And then they've got 81. So they've got 49 and 81 tonight. 2 picks for the Bengals. I mean, it's got to be O-line, doesn't it?
I would imagine maybe someone on the defensive line as well. Oh, I guess you just got Stewart on the outside. Maybe someone in the secondary, to bolster that. Like on the perimeter, you're set at quarterback, you're set at wide receiver.
You're good.
You feel like you got a good tight end situation.
Running back room's good situation.
probably offensive line. Then you start looking to kind of revamp that defense, which wasn't great. You got the pass rusher. Is there somebody inside you're looking at now? Maybe someone in the back end? Just those, I think, are kind of be the targets that you would look for.
Buckeyes made their own history last night. We'll get into that coming up in 2 minutes. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
An accident on the east side on I-70 westbound at I-270 blocks the right shoulder and has you slow from the county line. There's an accident on State Route 315 northbound at North Broadway, causing delays and just some heavy traffic right now on the North Outer Belt westbound between Westerville and I-71 north. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Relief from hip and back pain can be a reality when you work with the experts on a mobility and flexibility routine. That's why Stretch Lab was founded. Pro athletes and sports fans alike love Stretch Lab for our customized one-on-one assisted stretch sessions. Discover the difference a good stretch can make, because when your body moves better, you feel better and live better. Visit your local Stretch Lab today or go to stretchlab.com and use code FAN10 to get up to 50% off your first 50-minute stretch. Plus, receive an additional $10 off.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, save big on 2-pound packages of fresh, delicious strawberries. They're only $3.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medication. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
If Bobby and Beamer aren't talking about it, it's not worth your time anyway. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Buckeyes making history last night. Continuing to make history, I should say. Only school to have 4 players selected in the first round. Number 19 overall, Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Emeka Egbuka. Donovan Jackson goes after that at 24 to the Vikings. Tyleek goes number 28 at the Lions. And if he stayed up all the way to the end last night, you saw a little swapperoo between the Chiefs and the Eagles to go from 31 to 32. Eagles go up and get Jahad Campbell. Freak show.
He was another guy that fell. Like, that's value falling.
Fits exactly what they do all the time.
People say the Browns don't need any corners, and they probably don't. You know what the Eagles don't need? Any more pass rushers and guys up front. They draft like defensive line, offensive linemen all the time. And granted, they hit on their picks though, and those guys
because they pick the same players every year.
Well, and that's true. I mean, they just drafted Nolan Smith was that last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago. Last year, I don't know. They draft all these guys from Georgia and Bama up front. You know, and that's what they did again.
Yeah.
So
worked out for them. Jalen Carter was last year because they traded up to go and get him. I mean, yeah, it's very simple. But with that being said, at the 32nd pick, if you were around, you did see Josh Simmons become the 4th Buckeye of last evening, which was the highest of any school last night in the draft.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Honestly, like we were talking, like, could there be any Buckeyes to go? I thought there'd be at least one. And then Ohio State has the highest ever taken in the first round. Let's just hear old Raj. We love some Raj getting the Buckeye fever going, if you will.
With the 19th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver, Ohio State.
Did all right on the pronunciation.
Yeah, pretty good.
Not terrible. Not terrible. But that kicked off the run right there. Got it going.
I've heard that guy's name pronounced 1,000 different ways.
Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah. Emeka Egbuka. A lot of them, God love him, was by Jim Lachey.
Yeah. It's all right. I mean, listen, once you become the dude, then everybody knows how to say your name.
Yeah, of course.
Having a unique name sucks until you become the man.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like, everybody knows how to pronounce it. Everybody talks about it. And it's like, it sets you apart. But before you're just the dude, it's like, oh, man, this isn't some white bread, easy pronounced Smith. I mean, I'm
Carpenter,
Bean. I mean, just
Powell.
Like easy to go. Davis, like all stuff that's very, very white bread American names. His dad's Nigerian, and
I think he's going to just thrive down there in Tampa.
Todd Bowles is going to love him down there, man. He's an OKG.
He's going to love that room, too.
Our kind of guy.
What a room to walk into with Chris Godwin coming off that injury. He took less money, like $20 million less to stay in Tampa instead of going somewhere else because he loves the city, loves that room, and Mike Evans as well.
You know who's really going to love it, Shark? Is your guy, the Bake Show.
Oh, Baker, touchdown maker.
Baker Mayfield. Just more weapons, more options. Feeling good.
Talking about the two-time Pro Bowler who's made the playoffs last year.
Last Browns quarterback to win a playoff game.
That's
Baker
a fact.
Mayfield.
That is a fact.
How long does he hold that distinction for, you think?
Well, they got Joe.
Probably a while, actually. Probably a while. And if you remember, Kevin Stefanski didn't coach that game.
Oh, he was out with COVID, wasn't he?
Yeah. Baker gave him COVID so he could take control.
It worked out well for him. Going back to that game, that was like shot out of a cannon. That playoff
it was
game.
like 21-0 within 8 minutes in or something.
And then
the first play of the game was a strip sack on Ben.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. And they didn't play him back-to-back, did they? But they played him like 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before.
I think they did play him back-to-back.
Was it back-to-back weeks?
I think it was.
I think it was.
What year was that? 2021?
2021, yeah, 4 years.
No, 2020.
Oh, Lord.
COVID year. It was nobody in the stands.
Gosh, only the Browns get their first playoff victory, and there's no one even there to see it.
Oh, man. Poor guys.
Baker, though, getting to Mecca Ibuka, I'd be fired up about that. He's got Godwin now as he's working his way back. You got Mike Evans, who's had 1,000 yards for a decade.
It was back-to-back. They beat him 24-22.
That was a close. I remember that was a close one.
24-22 in the last week of the regular season, and then turned around the next week in the wild card round and beat him again.
Was the week 17 game was in Cleveland?
Yeah.
In front of no fans.
Yeah.
And then they went to Pittsburgh.
And then they went to Pittsburgh, yeah. And they got that done.
That was
48-37. Pittsburgh tried to make a comeback.
They did, but the score wasn't as close as the game felt. I mean, they were up big.
Was that wasn't Ben's last game, was it?
Yes, it was. He was done after that. I remember him and one of the Pouncey brothers who was just sad dogging on the bench at the end of the game.
They said if you lose to the Browns in the playoffs, you lose your job.
Gotta retire.
It's time to go.
They haven't been the same since. The Steelers haven't.
And neither have the Browns.
Yeah, you're right.
Honestly, Shark, that was kind of the end for both.
The Browns made the playoffs in 23.
They did.
Two-time coach of the year.
That's right. And then they got smoked by CJ in the first round.
Well, Joe flew through a couple of picks in that, couple of costly picks.
Yep. I do remember Joe coming back from about 14 down against the Bears.
I don't remember that. I blacked that out of my Cleveland.
Who was starting at the beginning of that season in 23?
Deshaun.
No, maybe it was 22 after they got rid of Baker. Deshaun was suspended.
Right.
Who did they lose? The Jets. Who threw the pick late against the Jets? They were up by 14 with like 5 minutes to go, weren't they?
It was a 99.9% win percentage.
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback in there? Was that DTR?
No, he wasn't on the roster yet.
Oh, it was so bad.
Why?
I remember like this game's in the bag.
They got this. This is all good.
And then they lost.
They're gonna win.
And was that Garrett Wilson that caught the touchdown? You got done by a Buckeye. Terrible.
I think you're right.
Come on,
about that.
Beamsy.
I'm trying to find it, man. It's a long list of Browns starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, but it was
P.J. Walker.
P.J. Walker.
Is that who
P.J.
it was?
Walker and Jeff Driscoll were your guys that year. Yeah. Before you went to Joe. Before you went to the Savior.
Yeah. That was a rough one.
That was
a rough one, Sharky. It's okay.
You know, last night, Memphis is up on OKC by 26 at halftime.
They came back. Biggest overtime comeback. Yeah.
It was 98.5% chance to win.
Yeah.
Well, then Ja got hurt. He flew out of the air and landed right on his sternum. Hopefully he's all right here this morning. Yeah, I'm trying to look up Sharky just to confirm. Deshaun started 6 games that year.
It doesn't sound right only because it was early in the season.
In 2023?
Was that the Jets loss?
You're telling me it was P.J. Walker started that game?
I don't have that as factually.
How did we get the lead by 2 touchdowns?
How did we get the lead?
No.
It was 2022. It was Jacoby. It was Jacoby Brissett.
There you go.
The brisket man.
Because Flacco was with the Browns in 23.
Yeah.
He was with the Jets in 22.
Yeah, it was 2022. It was Jacoby Brissett.
That's beautiful.
Jeez. Maybe they'll take another quarterback here, between 33 and 36 tonight. Gosh. I know you'd be super pumped about that. The question is the next Browns quarterback to get them in the playoffs, are they on the roster right now?
Oh, the best part is they were up 30-17 and they missed that extra point. That's what it was. You're like, they're up 13 points.
Is that Cade York kicking that extra point?
You're up 13 points with less than 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
They got the onside kick, which never works.
The fact that the missed field goal is what the extra point loses you that game. I mean, literally everything that had to go wrong did go wrong in that game. I remember watching it like
I did. I mean, vividly.
And then my son was like, "Dad, they just got the onside kick." I'm like, "All right, whatever. Like, go back in." What is their chances of scoring? 22 seconds left, 9 plays. They had a minute left, and they only took 40 or 38 of the minute left to score too. Garrett Wilson, 15-yard TD pass.
Death or exile.
Oh, my gosh. 2 plays, 75 yards. That was the first score. Corey Davis. I forgot about that.
I remember watching that and kind of being unemotional about it. And Jan said, "Man, you handled that really well." And I said, I think I'm still in shock.
I'm in
I
disbelief
can't believe that happened.
that it happened. I thought there's no way.
Hey, we've all been there, though. That losses are just so unfathomably bad.
Redskins.
That you just...
Commanders, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that.
That put $1 in the curse jar.
Commanders last season, right? For the Bears.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I was in it.
Talking to the fans.
Yeah, but the shoe was on the opposite foot because they were not supposed to win that game, and they were playing awful, and they came back, and then you got the Hail Mary. The Browns had a 2-touchdown lead with a minute left to go. Oh, that's terrible. That's really bad.
Was it 2008? Maybe it was 2007. I played in a game like that when I was in Dallas, and we were on the winning end of it. We played Buffalo on a Monday night when 25-24. We turned the ball over 5 times. It's like one of the only times in NFL history the team's ever won by turning the ball over 5 times. And let me see. Oh, yeah. We were down. Where were we at here? We were down 24-16. The Bills punt. We score a touchdown, get an onside kick, go kick a field goal, win the game.
That's insane.
The Bills punted with 3:53 left, and they're up 8. But
was that like J.P. Lossman or who was quarterbacking the Bills back then?
They also have a long distinguished list.
Yeah. I don't know. They don't even have it listed. Box score.
Trent Edwards and J.P. Lossman. You're right, Sharky. Look at you. Started 2 games for him that year.
Tony threw 5 interceptions.
Ugh. That's not good.
But that's what I'm saying. You can. 5 interceptions. My gosh. Yeah,
if you think that's bad, try being the Los Angeles Chargers and having a 27-0 lead in the first round of the NFL playoffs, then losing against the Jags.
Yeah,
that's an all-time collapse for sure.
There's been other great collapses, but that was kind of 13 points with under 2 minutes it's
pretty safe usually.
Pretty safe.
That you would manage to pull out a victory.
You're up 13, kicking the extra point,
Bob,
by the way.
I know. I've heard enough.
Okay.
It's too soon.
Play traffic again. Just interrupt us. We'll reveal our fan poll next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
An accident on the east side on I-70 westbound at I-270 is on the right shoulder, but causing slowdowns from the county line. Also, we have heavy and slow traffic on the north side on I-71 between 11th Avenue and Morse Road to 5th Avenue. So give yourself some extra time there. Still an accident, State Route 315 northbound at North Broadway. We'll have you slowing just a little bit as well. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1, The Fan Traffic.
Buy now with pre-tariff pricing at Coughlin Kia. Lease a new 2025 Kia K4, just $195 a month plus taxes and fees. Or choose low 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2025 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
1.9% for 60 months equals $18.37 per 1,000 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents per mile over. 2025 due. Excludes $250 dock fee, $400 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 4/30/25.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, you don't have to take chances. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. Plus, we're so confident that our rates are the lowest, if you find a lower rate, we'll beat it or give you $1,000. And now through April 30th, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today.
Right now at Third Federal, even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-THIRD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. Zero closing costs on low-cost loans only. See conditions for lowest rate guarantee at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Guess what? It's driving season, friends, and my friends at Germain Lexus are ready for you with their most popular models on the lot and ready to go with special APRs as low as 3.99% up to 48 months or 4.49% up to 60 months with low lease payments starting at $389 per month on the 2025 NX. And if you're looking for a TX, they're finally available for immediate delivery. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
It's one of the best weeks of the year. Draft Week. Draft Week. Draft Week on The Fan is
presented by the Crown Automotive Group in Dublin.
The Fan. Ohio's sports destination.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text GRIT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text GRIT to 42424. That's GRIT to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Miss a minute of the show?
Check out the podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Morning Juice and subscribe.
This is Morning Juice.
Uncle Bo and the boys are going to be up after we're done. All kinds of good stuff with them today, including an appearance from Tim May and then Doug Lesmerises. Tim May at 10:30, Doug Lesmerises at 11:30. Had a lot of fun this morning talking about the draft and all kinds of shenanigans. And you can always go back and listen to the podcast. And the podcast is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit them online at primesportsbook.com. Use promo code JustSports for a welcome bonus of up to $100. You got planned this weekend? What are you doing?
Well, I'm probably going to watch some of the draft tonight, or a lot of the draft tonight.
I'm watching The Count of Monte Cristo. The final hour of that.
So I've got XM from 3 to 6 today. I'm going to go over. I've got to speak over at Ohio State. Was going to have a recruiting meeting that got postponed, delayed, canceled, one of the three. And then I'm going to play. I don't know how much of it's going to rain. I'm supposed to play with my buddies in that upper deck golf thing.
Yeah.
I told him I'll just go upper deck your bathroom and that'll be just as good.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted to do the golf instead.
I think it's going to be rainy all day. I don't know if you guys are going to get that in.
I'm a very fair weather.
Bob, the couple of times that we played golf, we played in our outing last year at Columbus Country Club. It was spitting rain.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even really spitting rain. It was just kind of misting.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, let's call it quits. It's time for me to go. I'm like, dude, it's going to pass. I can see the sun over there. It's going to pass in 5 minutes.
Then it's just going to be
like,
humid.
I'm ready to go.
Then it's just going to be humid, which is even worse. Okay, then I'm going to be sweaty and sticky.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
Nobody got time for that. So I've got that going. Honestly, the fact that you're watching The Count of Monte Cristo, I'm going to want to watch it again because I forget the details. I probably haven't seen it in 10 years.
I'm so far in right now. I watched an hour yesterday during William's nap time, and then I'll probably do another hour today. I'll finish it up during his nap today. It's an unbelievable movie so far. I love it. I can't believe I've never seen it before.
I love it. Our chat's been on fire, too. We got folks all over listening. It's some of the best streaming we've had. I don't know, maybe people will follow me to the stream, follow you to the Buckeye show.
Yeah.
Here in a couple of weeks. We got 10 shows left.
Man.
I think the final week, we were talking, maybe hit some callers in there.
Well, we got to teach Shark how to do that.
Well, we'll teach him, but like some of our great listeners, man. We got some of the smartest listeners around, and it's such an honor to be able to be a part of this and be a part of your morning drive, at least for the next 2 weeks, and showing us tremendous support. So I'm eternally grateful for that, and been very responsive with the ratings and how great it's done over the last handful of years. That's all thanks to everybody out there. So keep on wanting to press that in to make sure that everybody knows how much we've enjoyed doing this.
We've loved it.
How sad and disappointed we are that we won't be able to do it moving forward.
Yeah, 2 more Friday shows to go for us. So I'm just going to hang out this weekend, I think. We got nothing on tap. Actually, my mom's back from Florida. They drove up this past week.
Oh, that'll be great. I'm sure she's going to come and do some counseling with you, or you'll be counseling her.
I think I'll be counseling her.
Making sure that you're okay.
Yeah, making sure that she's okay, making sure that I'm okay. Yeah.
I'm okay. Are you
she's
sure
coming
you're okay?
up. Yeah, they got back yesterday, and she's texting me. She's like, you care if I come up tomorrow morning to hang out with William? I'm like, go ahead. Feel free. Should be good. So I get to see her, which is nice. And then, we're just kind of hanging out here this weekend for sure. But, yeah, should be a fun one. NFL draft tonight. How many Buckeyes do you think are going? Because that leads us to our daily fan poll at 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan. And it's sponsored by Caster Connection. Who's going to be the next Buckeye off the board? JT, Jack, Trey, or Will Howard, Denzel Burke combo platter? I've got to go. I think I'm going Trey.
I think Trey's going to be the first one off, and I wouldn't be surprised. Like, Will Johnson hanging out there is big, and he might be the first guy to go. I think Trey's going to probably go in the top 5 because I know there was a number of teams that really liked him in the first round, and he's an explosive playmaker in a draft that's kind of void of those guys. So I know he's not a receiver, but when you do pass him the ball, he can still...
Heck of a receiving back, though. He can make a lot of things happen.
Well, I think Jahmyr Gibbs kind of showed everybody, like, hey, you don't need to run past people and then throw it to him. You can just give it to him, and he runs by people and then scores the touchdowns.
Yeah, run through people as well, which is something that he's very good at. Sharky, are you locking in your pick? Are you saying you want Travion at 33?
Sure, Beam.
Well, it's not Beam. I'm just, you're the GM.
I sound like a homer because of that, but yeah, I'd love to have Travion.
I agree. I think that would be a nice pick. What are you doing with 36?
And he's a good Christian man. He's not going to cause any eruptions in the locker room, Beam.
What are you doing at 36 then if you take Trey at 33? Or are you going Will Johnson 33 and then maybe Trey at 36?
I'm going
Mason Graham, Luther Burden?
I'm going skill position. Yeah.
Or Mason Taylor.
Mason Graham, he's already on Mason.
Could you get two Masons?
Maybe we can get Mason Rudolph.
Ooh, that sounds good.
There you go. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Shark.
Where does he? Is he back in Pittsburgh?
He is.
That's right. He's the starter right now, isn't he?
He is the starter.
They've got to fix that this weekend. I don't know what. Maybe Aaron Rodgers announces that he's going to go there this weekend or something, or they take a quarterback, but they have to change that.
Do you think him and Miles would want to play together?
Yes. They're probably best friends.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one that he tore his helmet off, correct?
You are correct. Was it a Monday night or a Thursday night?
A Thursday night, because I was in ESPN doing Get Up the next day, and I had all this show notes planned, and we'd met with my producer, all the way down my producer call, and then that happened. I'm like, well, don't need this. This is going to dominate in the next 2 hours in the morning.
It's going to be.
Ripped his helmet off and tried to hit him.
Is that when
with
Shefty just tweeted out assault?
Yeah.
Is that the infamous assault?
It's on
tweet?
a football field, dude. Assault happens every play out there by about 14 people.
By the way, Aaron Donald did that and it was a training camp, but he ripped someone's helmet off and was doing the same thing.
So that's what people say. I've never seen that before. That's assault with a deadly weapon. I watched Flozo Adams rip off, the defensive end for Florida who was in Denver. He had like 4 sacks against us.
Alex Brown.
No, it wasn't Alex Brown. He was on that 06 team with Florida. He long, tall, like 6'6". I watched Flozo Adams rip his helmet off and then actually hit him in the head with it. It was like one fluid motion. Takes it, rips it off, winds it up, kind of like the little NFL kicker deals he used to have. Derek Harvey, and freaking boom, right back on his head. I'm like, whoa, because we were on the other field. Needless to say, it was like moths to a flame after that. And they're like, well, that ends this edition of the practice.
The practice is over, boys. Go to the showers. Good work today.
One guy hit another guy with his helmet that he ripped off of him.
It's going to be pretty a jarring thing to see in person.
Here's the problem. That dude, Harvey didn't know about Flozel. I'm like, buddy, there's a line that when you cross it with him, that's how it's going to end. I got close to it one time, and they're like, dude, do not test Flo. He's not playing. There's no play in that man.
Bob, I had so much fun with you today. What do you say we reconvene on Monday if they allow us to go to that?
The Monday after, and for 2 weeks.
That's about it. Everybody have an awesome weekend. Uncle Bo and the boys are up next. We're back live on Monday to break everything down. Have a fantastic weekend. Talk to you then. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
There's an accident on the east side on I-70 westbound at I-270. The right shoulder is what's blocked, but you're slow from the county line. Traffic is also slow on the south side on I-71 northbound Greenlawn Avenue to I-70. So use some caution there. And we do have some areas of wet pavement, so that'll add to some slowdowns. There's a crash, State Route 315 northbound at North Broadway, so there you're a little slow as well. I'm Heather Pasco for 97.1 The Fan Traffic.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. This is your last chance to get an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. But hurry, these savings end soon. And this weekend only, we're open Sunday to give you an extra day to shop our expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. Time is running out. 20% off, store-wide savings. Visit diamondsdirect.com for details.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We lowered prices and give you a 5-year price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Get one line of 5G data for $40. Period. That's 20% lower. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Mix and match 5 or more items for just 99 cents each with your card. Choose Campbell's Soup, Kroger brand pasta, North Sides, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
In-betweens are made for pizza. In between meals, meetings, thoughts, that's pizza time. Stop at Speedway and get 2 hot, delicious slices of pizza and a Mountain Dew 20-ounce for $5 with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 4/29/25. See app for full terms.
Hi, this is Bob Mashetter from Dick Mashetter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at MasterFord.net. Thanks.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here with an opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th. Yes, pounds, and why not? I dropped my first 40 in just 8 weeks. It was easy, and it will be easy for you too. Take the medication-free and lasting approach. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes who are going above and beyond in their communities. Newman Roofing wants to recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in their towns to be recognized on 10TV and The Fan. Stay tuned as we begin announcing the selected honorees who truly embody the spirit of Newman Roofing's commitment to community.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
Save big money on your next project at Menards. Never run out of hot water again with a hybrid heat pump water heater from Richmond. This water heater's advanced system detects any potential water leaks and sends an alert to your smartphone. Menards has a great selection of water heaters in stock, ready to take home today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making